Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Think that I can accurately say that a crowd of dozens, I think it's accurate this time, saw Donald Trump speak in Howell, Michigan. I couldn't tell you whether this was supposed to be about the economy or more likely about crime because there were police there. But take a look at this, a basically empty room that Trump spoke to. He was barely awake for it, and Fox News ended up having to cut the feed. Look at this. Yeah. So a few dozen people seems to be about half media, and Trump kicking it off, just seeming super sedated and sleepy once again.
We really feel good about the state and the area. We're doing very well here. Just got a poll that was very good. Got a lot of good polls the last couple of days. Thank you to the Livingston County Sheriff's Department for
So this sedated Trump that's been showing up, we don't know if it's like a depression type of thing or whether it's that he's really upset that he's losing or
Morbid Lenny Mentz.
Also, I was thinking, any producer that wants to put me anonymously into a supermax prison for, say, a month, pay me a handsome salary, film it, document it, I'll do it. I'm up for it.
Wait, you want?
I don't want to get any charges on me or anything like that. I want.
That didn't make much sense, but thanks for the donation, shit-stained underwear. Yeah, I saw that Destiny debated Tiger King. We're gonna watch that.
or whether it is related to substances. But maybe the wildest moment of this entire thing is that Trump says when you try to go get bread, no, it's not the ID thing. I know for a while Trump's been saying you need an ID to buy bread. Trump says that when you go to buy bread in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's America, you get raped.
It's just insane. But you can't walk across the street to get a loaf of bread. You get shot, you get mugged, you get raped, you get whatever it may be. And you've seen it, and I've seen it.
I mean, I guess in some sense, Trump would know about sexual assault. He's been found civilly liable of sexual assault. There was a lawsuit that named Trump as a child rapist, which was ultimately dropped before ever getting to the sort of end of the legal process. But what would Trump know about this anyway, right? I mean, he's got his various country clubs. He's got his private jet. It's now down for repair, so he's using Jeffrey Epstein's old private jet. He's watching TV, he's posting to Truth Central and playing golf. Like, what is his contact with everyday life where he would even know this? And then once again, the sedated nature of what Trump is sounding like is raising real questions about what's happening. I have not slowed this down, just so people know.
Have it out for the police. Nobody knows why. I don't understand why from the common sense. I like to say the Republican Party is now the party of common sense. Conservative, yeah, I guess conservative. It doesn't matter.
Notice how everybody standing behind him is frozen. There's no reaction whatsoever.
We want to have borders. We want to have strong police protection. We want a military that can protect us. We want great schools, school choice, ideally. We want to have a good life. We want to be safe. But let's review Kamala's pro-crime.
Anyway, these are getting really, really, really boring.
So I'm debating this guy tomorrow morning at 8.
Good evening, VG. I really and truthfully hope that you are doing great tonight. So, did you see JD Vance's appearance at a donut shop? He gave off desperation like how South Park portrayed Al Gore with Man Bear Pig lol.
I did not. Let me see.
Good, good. The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Looks like is everybody else in here? All right, one of the few. Okay. I'm Big Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
And just a, random assortment of stuff.
Yes, beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay. Yeah. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay. Good. How long?
Everything.
Just everything. Yeah. I mean, a lot of glaze, cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense.
Ma'am, if you don't want to be on film, you're good.
Ma'am.
If you don't want to be on film, you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good. Place. I didn't know if it had been here for 20 years or 4 years or, you never know. Sometimes you drop in.
It is a cool story.
JD Vance is an incredibly unlikable and awkward person. It's like he doesn't go outside and talk to people, and he's like trying to pretend to be normal.
My god, do we seriously want this guy back as precedent when his speech impediment is that of a Trangles animal? I can't wait to see him cry like a baby once he loses the election this November. Also, party of command sense, what a joke.
True, Dodo, true. Thanks for the donation.
Why does the Trump campaign keep subjecting me to JD Vance's butthole clenching cringe? This is one of the most awkward social encounters I've ever seen. He's actively attempting to portray himself as human. It's like when you try and be polite in debates.
Trump and JD Vance just should severely limit their public appearances, not talk to anybody, avoid answering questions, and just lay low. Every time they open their mouth, it's something stupid. Thanks for the donation, though, retard. Entitled Donatellers, do you and Avi keep in touch? Yeah. Also, any goals with the overhead press? Have you smoked salvia? I've never smoked salvia. Don't have any goals at the moment for the overhead press. Thanks for the donation, Untitled.
So fast reps for muscle growth, what's better?
If you're using fixed weights, I'd go with rapid concentric and slowed eccentric. 8 rep maximum sets, 2 of those per session, no more than 3 times a week. Works out to about 6 sets.
Professor Barkay, you have not provided us with any evidence to support your claim at all. Therefore, it will not stand up in court. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We'll turn sweat into gold and gains into glory. Today we're diving deep into a game-changing workout strategy that's all about numbers. Well, it's all about maximizing muscle tension and minimizing injury risk. So I'm going to break it down as a whole. So firstly, the time to tension aspect of it. By using a 5-2-5 tempo, you're dramatically increasing.
That video is fucking boring. Oh, he's debated somebody.
Right now, I'm sitting in prison, and I know this. The only reason anybody's getting behind her right now is because she claims she's black.
Joe Exotic with limo waiting outside prison fails to get Trump pardoned. Pardon for what? What did he even get? 22-year sentence in a Fort Worth, Texas prison for his conviction on charges he participated in a murder-for-hire plot. Jesus. Wait, what did he even do? I thought he was just like on a reality TV show. Is his last name really Exotic? Known professionally as Joe Exotic, a nickname, the Tiger King. An American media personality, businessman who operated the Greater Exotic Animal Park. The lady he wanted to murder runs Big Cat Rescue here in Tampa. They battled it out for years. The Big Cat Rescue. Wait, is it the same thing on YouTube? The owner of Big Cat Rescue fed her husband to her tigers? Wait, like after he was dead? Like his body? Or like had him killed like that? That's the theory? Look, he's stalking. Look at him stalking. Ooh, and then he stops. Look at him. Oop, oop. Ooh. Oh. Oh, look how cute they are. I think they can put like the big cats and the little cats together and they chill, right? Have you ever heard a lion roar before? It is pretty crazy, the sound that they can produce. If you go to a zoo where there are lions, and you can be like in a totally different part, and when the lion roars, you can, whoa, it's a big sound. Like,
No, haven't played Black Myth Wukong yet. We'll play it soon. I have to get up early tomorrow morning, so I don't know if we'll play any games tonight. But probably tomorrow, if not tonight.
Holy shit. The only thing I don't like about cats is that I feel like it's a lot harder to...
Dodo and any tellers, can you react?
Let me see. Below it.
Well, we're going to react to that later.
Your anecdote,
we're going to react to that later, don't worry. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Tell when cats are playing versus when cats are trying to kill each other, as opposed to dogs playing and dogs killing each other. I feel like for a dog, it is immediately obvious when a dog is like upset and is trying to kill another dog. Like you'll never have a second guess in your mind. But cats look like...
Question, I shared some slaughter footage on Twitter, got 1.1k likes, but all the top comments have more likes than my post. Common excuses like crop deaths. Do you think sharing that does more harm overall? People being exposed more to excuses?
No. No matter what, people are going to say stupid shit, make dumb excuses. So if you want to share slaughterhouse footage, go for it.
So today was supposed to be a back day and I was driving to the gym, but halfway there I decided to say fuck it, I didn't feel like going, so I decided to get some pizza instead. Am I a lazy fuck or is it just no big deal? This doesn't happen often.
Well, we all have those days, dude. So no shame in taking a relax and having some pizza every now and again. At the end of the day, we're just here to benefit from living, and if you want to just chill and have pizza, as long as it's vegan pizza, there's no harm done. Thanks for the donation though, Son Goku. Yeah, but Hunter Toby, anybody watching these videos are, like, most of them are just stupid. 99% of people are gonna cope, make up some stupid fucking excuse, so I wouldn't have that prevent you from sharing any kind of slaughterhouse footage or animal abuse footage. I think deep down when people see that, maybe not even deep down, they just know it's wrong, and in order, like, the only reason they're fucking commenting is to make up for, you know, their poor choices. So they feel guilty, and because they feel guilty, they feel the need to make stupid dumbass cope comments. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's working. It is, in fact, making them feel guilty and question their decisions. Thanks for the donation, though, dude.
Was getting mad hit on by a couple cute girls at work today. Too bad they weren't vegan, but it still feels pretty flattering girls find me desirable after my hand injury. Hope you been good, G.
Well, that's pretty sweet. I've been good. Tired, exhausted, just training so much and dieting. But I am losing weight. I am getting leaner and more jacked, so can't complain. Thanks for the donation, Axel.
Have you played any Fallout? The creator did an interview where he explicitly states that the message of the writing was not anti-capitalism. That it was more spreading the message of inevitable war and human conflict. A lot of commies owe me an apology.
I've played Fallout 3, a little bit of Vegas, and Fallout 4. I've never gotten a strong communist message from Fallout ever. So that's kind of weird. But thanks for the donation, Caleb. Blaze Pizza fucking sucks, dude. I remember there was some vegan group that said Blaze Pizza was great. I tried it. It is the most bland, garbage fucking pizza I've ever fucking had. I ordered it. I literally couldn't even finish it. I had a few bites and I'm like, this is fucking trash. And that like almost never happens with pizza. Like you can have pizza that isn't that great, but I mean it's bread with some tomato sauce and shit. Like, it's hard to actually fuck up. Like, Blaze Pizza was so bad, I couldn't even fucking eat it. That was just fucking garbage. Dude, Blaze Pizza is not serviceable. It's just pure fucking trash. Like, Pizza's better than that. Papa John's, which is also fucking trash, is better than Blaze. Dodo donated $2. She openly supports BRICS and China-led world order. And Jank doesn't say anything. She thinks multipolar world order is good. What a fucking retard. Yeah, somebody already sent me this video of JD Vance being super fucking awkward. He literally doesn't know how to make small talk or communicate
Middle
with
East.
people.
That really speaks volumes about what the problem is here. You know, this is that unsinkable battleship for the U.S. to control the flow of resources from the Middle East. And, you know, the U.S. has a military policy sometimes described as full spectrum dominance, which means, you know, we are still embracing the state of being the sole ruling power for the world. And we need to move from a monopolar world order, which it's not anymore, but that's kind of our mindset, to a multipolar world order.
Last question. When Bibi Netanyahu was here to give the speech, would you have arrested him, given the warrant?
Yeah.
That is just such an insane thing to say, given you have fascist dictatorships in two of the other world's superpowers. Why in the fuck would you say something like that when they're fascist dictatorships?
Yes, absolutely. And I would have ensured that he not have an invitation to come in the first place. I think that was a real betrayal of trust. It was a real, contamination, corruption of the People's House and the People's Congress for this war criminal to be brought in and then applauded basically once a minute.
What a fucking idiot. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Untitled donate $2. Does mushroom visuals look like this? Yeah, the weird shifting of colors, that's something that you notice on mushrooms. You'll notice like there's just a lot of weird changing of colors, and you'll see things move all around you. But yeah, this is fairly accurate. If you're really deep into a trip, you can like literally just leave reality and not even see anything in front of you. But That's basically what it looks like. Thanks for the donation, Entitled. One donated $2. Let me see.
What does it take for a real knockout puncher to get the job done?
Well, there's a certain kind of knockout punches. There's something, being a big man really doesn't matter. It has no significance in knocking out someone. The main point is the quickness and what you throw the punches and the leverage is what you have in the shoulder snap. And the object of really knocking out an individual is throwing a punch where he can't see. And when there's combination punches, and when you throw punches and you keep his mind preoccupied with the body punches, and the other two punches that come to the head are the knockout punches. And then again, there's one punch knockout, which they throw one punch to the body, boom, boom, and then the other punch to the head, which again, the opponent's mind is so preoccupied on the one punch, which rattles him just a little bit, and then that's when the other punch comes in.
Yep, he's the master.
Most fighters are used to fighting opponents 6'3", 6'2", the average heavyweight. And I feel that I use it to my advantage because I move my head, I'm very quick, and I'm low to the ground, and it's very difficult to hit me. I crouch low just to make my opponents punch down because I know where they're going to punch at.
He had a lot of trouble fighting taller opponents. Like, a lot. So he would just have to wait until he could get in close enough. But yeah, good tall heavyweights he had a lot of trouble against.
I get a lot of leverage for my punches. And it doesn't matter if I punch up or straight or down or around. I have good leverage. Jabbing doesn't have anything to do with the length of your arms or anything. Jabbing is all to do with timing. If you throw your jab at the right time, you could be 5'6", and I'll jab a guy 6'4". When I was younger, I used to always say, God, I'm just a midget. I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to be anything because I'm too short to do any kind of sports, anything. But then, you know what I mean, I started believing in myself.
So where you been, pal? You don't return my calls.
I've been mewing.
Trying to look like a Giga Chad? Why still no bitches these days?
Look at you, Peter. Your grades have been steadily declining. You're late for class. You look like you had a plastic surgery.
Bro, I've been on a mewing streak.
Mewing is not a major at this university.
Why wasn't I told?
What's this, broke Mr. Beast? A head sticking out of a toilet? A watermelon cat? Get your pretty little portfolio off my desk before I go into a brain rot coma.
Bro, these pics are phantom tax. If you post them, your paper's gonna be bussing no cap.
You're fired.
Bruh, this sussy baka tried to skibidi riz me up like baby Gronk. Yacht for sure, almost mogged my mewing streak.
Peter, what the fuck have you been talking about for the last hour and a half? Rosie, our new friend has brain rot. You can sleep in a nut house tonight.
You need to sleep soundly tonight, Otto.
Did Edison sleep before he turned on the light? Did Beethoven sleep before he wrote the Fifth?
Did the fuck boom sleep before he slapped that skibidi toilet riz?
Oh, Rosie.
That was pretty good.
I'm tired of your brain rot, Pete.
Listen to me! I didn't listen to your father! He was trying to listen to me! He listened himself! Shut up!
Remember Skibbity Toilet Riz?
What the fuck does that mean anyway?
Everything!
Peter, what is it? It's MJ. I'm gonna try my Skibbity Riz on her. I see Skibbity Toilet behind a window. Sussy bakas yapping around like Skibbity bop, 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 bop. I'm yapping to myself. I'm just a baby Gronk from Queens. Do I have this kind of Riz?
You called me Freddy Fazbear. Don't you remember?
Well, you are Freddy Fazbear, and you've earned it.
I don't feel very well. I'm sorry. I have to go. Please don't follow me.
So I come here like true Sigma, and my Riz is bussing, no cap. But when I think she's about to be busting it down with style, she just leaves.
Man, I told you I'm sick of your brain rot shit. Do you want me to punch another hole in the wall?
How's the pie?
Shit's bussin'.
My Skibidi Riz didn't work, Aunt May. I don't know what to do.
You start by doing the hardest thing. Start talking like a normal person, you moron.
I like those Spider-Man memes. Oh my god. Whoa. That cat's splishy splashing. Oh my god, look at him splishy splash. What a good fucking kitty. Jesus fucking Christ, what a good kitty. Oh my god. Wow. He goes splishy splash. Look at him splishy splash. Oh my god. Such a good splishy splasher. I really like that cat. Wow. That's a really good cat. Oh my god. That's a really good cat. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god, he just jumps right in. Oh, he loves bath time. Oh. He wants to stay in the bath. He likes his water. He likes his water. Yes, he likes his water. That's a really good kitty. Well, thanks, one. Dodo donate to players. Remember the guy holding Hezbollah flag? He is a neo-Nazi. He supports North Korea too because he thinks U.S. is controlled by Jews. Says a lot of it says a lot that Palestinian protesters are on the same side of neo-Nazis. Yeah.
Hi, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why are you flying a Hezbollah flag?
Because I support Hezbollah, Hamas, the PLO. I support China, Russia.
Why?
I support North Korea. I don't
Why
support
do you
America.
support terror proxies?
Because America is a terrorist state, and so is Israel.
Well, you can disagree with American foreign policy, but this is literally a flag of a terrorist state.
Well, Kamala and Trump.
I'm pro-Palestine,
Right,
and I
Kamala's
would
a
never
fascist.
fly that
Well,
flag.
Kamala's a fascist. You're
What
a
do
fascist.
you know about Hezbollah?
You're a fascist.
What do you know about Hezbollah?
You're a fascist.
What do you know about
That they
Hezbollah?
kill Americans who occupy countries they shouldn't be in. So fuck America and fuck you, faggot.
You fucking loser.
Well, what do you expect? Like, no shit, they're all gonna be Nazis. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
My god, why the fuck do these SJWs have to look for hidden political messages in everything?
Probably because they're retarded. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
That's the thing, bro. The opening line of Fallout is literally war never changes. The reason the creator had to state the obvious is because the new Fallout show has a lot of anti-capitalist messaging and BC commies have been assuming it for years.
That's really weird because none of the games have any anti-capitalist messaging. At the very most, like, there's maybe some minor criticisms about, like, consumerism, but there's literally nothing in any of the games that suggest an anti-capitalist agenda. Communists are just fucking retarded. Thanks for that donation, though, Caleb. Son Goku donated $2. Rare Austin Dunham W? Question mark.
Bro, why are you drinking this multiple times a week, thinking it's going to increase your confidence, thinking you're actually becoming a higher version of yourself when it's actually just poisoning you? The real way to get confidence is not by drinking alcohol, but instead of putting yourself in those uncomfortable environments on a weekly basis. You only grow through a sober state, not hallucinating and medicating yourself with poison on a weekly basis, thinking that you're elevating. You're not. You're only regressing yourself. So get out your comfort zone, put down that alcohol, and actually start facing your fears.
Yep, Rare W. It's good to see him advocating against alcohol. Thanks, Son Goku.
May I invade Canada again, no Supreme Leader Richard Burgess?
Sure, why not? Thanks for the donation, Benedict Arnold.
Is this bitch onto something or is he complete full of shit? Also, how are you doing today? Still dieting? What's your weight goal?
That's why they're against nicotine. That's why Walls raised the tax.
I'm still dieting. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to diet. I'm assuming I'm probably gonna want to be around 220 at the end of the diet. Today I weighed in at 252, I think 0.8. So I've lost. Started out at 276. So about 24 pounds. 24 pounds in the last 22 days. Let me see this.
That's why they're against nicotine. That's why Walls raised the taxes on nicotine pouches.
I don't know if it makes sense to put a tax on any nicotine product. I think it makes sense to tax like vape products or like obviously tobacco like itself, so chewable tobacco or, you know, cigarettes, something like that, but oral nicotine, depending on how you take it and how much, like, it can be harmful. If you're like, if you're taking Zins and you're just doing Zins constantly all day, it can cause gum disease. But lozenges, I haven't seen that to be the case. It is a vasoconstrictor, so it can raise your blood pressure. But, I mean, so can, like, anything, like junk food, pizza, French fries, like anything salty. I don't know what the point is taxing something like that.
There's no evidence, by the way, that nicotine is a carcinogen. It's not. It's all a lie. And what they hate about nicotine is it raises testosterone levels. They even suppress that fact. That's a fact on Google.
So it does raise testosterone. Depending on the study, it raises it by anywhere from 5 to 15%. It's nothing major. Nicotine itself isn't cancer causing, but tobacco absolutely is. So if you're using chewing tobacco or smoking, it absolutely is carcinogenic.
Well, Google nicotine and testosterone and see how many results it takes you to get to the core truth, which is, yes, nicotine use raises testosterone levels. Man, it is way, way down. And that's not an accident. They're afraid of testosterone.
100%. That's like completely right.
All right, well, that was still stupid. Mark Sisson University donated $2 vids.
So the other day somebody asked me.
These are not going to be entertaining.
Jordan Peterson.
I felt that the AGI is coming when I was...
All right, we might watch some of those later. Thanks for the donation, Mark. Dodo donated $2. Rate her impression, or his impression.
There's only one guy who does the most mediocre impression of me. He fails like a dog. You know who I'm talking about, right? Who is it?
You know, Donald, we could have been great friends.
Why do you say that?
If you had just changed your course 1 degree.
I think you're a dog.
All you needed was a slight change.
Alan, you were so mean to me on the show. The way you portrayed me, it was so unfair.
Vice President Harris, this is Barack Obama, and I have to say it is a thrill to be with you. All the great work you've been doing with my vice president and now your president. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
His Barack Obama impression kind of sucks, but his Trump impression's great. Thanks, Dodo. Skibbity Phantom Tax donated $3.
Hey, you. You're finally woke. You were trying to hop the border, right? Gridded right into that...
Hi Richard, thanks for the stream. What's your favorite animes of all genres that come to mind? Including hentai, and what's your favorite series overall?
I don't know, man. That's a difficult question. Like, some of my favorites are Ghost in the Shell, Psychopaths, Death Note, Parasite, The Maxim, Full Metal Alchemist, Akira, Princess Mononoke. Did I say Akira already? Nazca of the Valley of the Wind. Wicked City. Like, those are a few that I can... Oh, yeah, Gantz. Gantz is great. The Gantz manga is way better, though, and of course, Berserk. Berserk would have to be my favorite series of all time, but, like, we're talking about the manga there. Chainsaw Man is also fantastic, both the anime and the manga. The manga is better, still. And Gantz is probably my second favorite manga series. Thanks for the donation, though, Okido. Oh yeah, Ninja Scroll is great.
Kamla is a fact. Are they nuts?
Yes, they are insane. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Imperial Mog, same as us. And that beta over there.
Phantom, you stormcucks. Skibidi was fine until you riz...
All the alpha figures the red pill guys worship are either turning into jokes and getting humiliated like Putin or Trump, or getting imprisoned, loving it. And no Fallout protagonist call any enemies a commie, lol, raiders included.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to see. They're all just falling apart. Thanks for the donation, Mola. One donate $2. I don't know what the fuck the new show is about, but original Fallout creators intended the game to be dark, cynical, post-apocalypse survival with some of the most dark humor out of any game and a ton of gore, which makes it great. Child Killer is a reputation title in Fallout and Fallout 2. Negative 30 points to initial reaction of both good and evil NPCs. Reputation will cause bounty hunters to appear on the world map. That's interesting. Thanks for the donation one. Rate your love for Joey on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't know if you could rate it on a 1 to 10 scale. My love for Joey is infinite because he is a good boy, and he is very sentient, and he is amazing. Joey's a good kitty. I love him.
Just along. Simpire was chill AF. If you weren't Malding, I could have copped that whip and been halfway to Gunnerfell. You there, you and me. We shouldn't be here for real on gods. It's these stormcucks the Simpire wants.
We're all gooners and stepsisters and binds now, Rizzler.
Quit yapping back there.
And what's got bro down?
Check your vibes. You're yapping at Ulfric Stormcuck, the true Short King.
Ulfric? The Sigma of Windhelm? You're the leader of the Rizbellion, but if they've copped you? On gods, where are they thug-shaking us?
I don't know. But Kai Cenat awaits.
No, this is Cap. This must be Cap.
Hey, what goon cave are you from, Beta?
Why you doxing me, Chud?
A Rizzler's last thoughts should be of Ohio.
Redditstead. I'm from Redditstead.
General Tullius, sir. The throat goat is waiting.
Based. Let's get this ratioed.
Shapiro, Peterson, Jones, Tate, Adolf. Chuds, please help me.
Look at him. General Tullius, the military's maxed in.
Parts. Yeet!
It's waiting for us.
Time.
Simpire loves their Phantom lists.
Ulfric Stormcuck, Sigma of Windhelm.
It has been goated for real, Sigma Ulfric.
Rod Howard Audio. Feel free to...
All right. All right, let's get this Tate thing out of the way. Andrew Tate put under house arrest as new charges emerge. Controversial internet influencer Andrew Tate is being placed under house arrest by a Romanian judge as prosecutors investigate new and serious allegations, including sex with a minor and trafficking underage persons. So, Andrew Tate admitted to having a relationship with a girl who I think was like 14 or 15 when he was in his 20s. And apparently, yeah, here we go. Prosecutors had asked the judge to remand the brothers in custody for 30 days while they continued a new investigation involving...
Are you more likely to stop being vegan or have children?
I don't think there's... Both of them are about as unlikely. I have zero fucking interest having any children, and I'm never going to stop being vegan, so I'd say they're both about as unlikely. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer. They continue a new investigation involving a total of 35 alleged victims, including a woman who was 15 at the time. In a statement, Romanian's agency against organized crime, Tate, said 6 people had been detained in total, both Romanian and foreigners. Andrew Tate made a furious statement to the press outside announcing the case against him as stitch-up and lies. This setup, it is absolutely disgusting. 30 of those girls say, we have done nothing wrong. 2 are the mothers of our children. 2 have never been here to Romania. Cool story. Asked repeatedly by the BBC about the allegations of sex with a 15-year-old girl and trafficking underage persons, he walked away and refused to reply. His frontal lobe probably kicked in and realized, oh, wait, I should probably not incriminate myself, and then leave. So, in all likelihood, he fucking did this. So these new allegations are separate, so these are separate criminal charges they're being faced with. My neighbors are having a party and they're playing reggae music. The Anti-Organized Crime Agency says the accused were grooming vulnerable people who were then housed in different locations and forced to produce pornographic material for online broadcasts. One of the foreign men is accused of forcing a 17-year-old foreign citizen to perform sexual acts in order to make online video content. He is said to have kept all the 1.5 million profit. The statement does not name him. The same man is accused of repeatedly having sexual relationship with a girl who was 15 years old when they met. After questioning for several hours at the DICOT offices, Andrew Tate told BBC on Wednesday night that the latest allegations were pathetic and that prosecutors were desperate. He said they had made up a lot. So if this is true, if they were being questioned for several hours, Andrew Tate is a legit full-fledged retard. Why would you ever make any statements to the police? Anything you say can be used against you in court. So this fucking idiot thought, oh, if I make up the right lies, I can prove my innocence and then this will, be over with. So they're just going to take a statement, prove he's fucking lying, and then show it in court, and then he's fucked. Whenever you hear questioned for hours, as soon as you get to the police offices and you're getting questioned by an investigator, say, I'm not making any statements. And then it's over. Why would you ever agree to questioning? In the new statement, prosecutors accused the brothers of buying 4 luxury cars and registering them in the names of other people in order to hide the proceeds of what they describe as their illicit activity. In total, it is alleged that the accused made some $2.8 million through sexual exploitation. Those detained are also accused of attempting to intimidate the victims and witnesses during a 10-hour search of 4 properties on Wednesday. Investigators seized cash and other items, including luxury watches, laptops, hard drives, and documents. They also impounded 16 luxury cars. Didn't he get a new Lamborghini? Not a Lamborghini. A new Bugatti. I guess that Bugatti's gone. Tate brothers were taken into custody late Wednesday night after questioning along with 4 Romanian citizens, but told them longer than 24 hours. The prosecutors had to bring them before a judge, and the brothers appeared in court hours later. Well, Tate is more fucked than before.
I uploaded our debate. I can't right now, but I invite you to look for stronger points to support your position and do a rematch. Here's a link. Think some of your audience knows we do need dietary bees. Up with the audio.
Your
My crew. Say again?
That's nice. Thanks for the donation, DeQuavius Jones. The Matrix donated $2.
Felicitations! Well done, well done. Truth, let them free.
Listen to me. I moved to Romania 10 years ago, and I found an amazing country full of beautiful people, and I told the whole world about Romania. If you mention the name Romania anywhere in the world, they'll say, Andrew Tate lives there, Andrew Tate lives there. I've done nothing but promote this country. I've done nothing but say fantastic things about Romania endlessly. And when
He called Romania a third world fucking shithole where there's no law and criminals can do whatever the fuck they want.
I did this, people would say to me, if Romania is so nice, if it's so safe, it's so beautiful, why has it got such a bad reputation? And I said, well, there's probably a few bad actors, a few bad people who destroyed the entire reputation. Like the few fools at DCOT who just came along and told us that the mothers of our children are somehow human trafficked. I've been nice, I've been patient, I've played the game, I've respected the judiciary, I've gone to every appointment on time, but they bust in my house again, and now come along saying there's 35 victims. You know, all
Do you believe in aliens?
I wouldn't say I believe in aliens, but I entertain the possibility of aliens existing somewhere in the universe. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
All 30 of those girls, 30 of them, have statements in our defense. 30 say we've done absolutely nothing wrong. Two more are the mothers of our children, and 2 more have never even been to Romania. I've never even been here.
Oh yeah, dude. Tristan Tate is way more reasonable than Andrew. Andrew is not neurologically normal. He probably is more of a psychopath than... He's either a narcissist or a psychopath. He could be both. But, Tristan Tate, he seems much more reasonable, and he knows how fucking serious this shit is. And I mean, just look at the look on his face. He doesn't like his brother speaking publicly about any of this shit because he knows this idiot is incriminating them both. And, like, this moron is just so fucking delusional, he thinks he can just get away with anything.
More of the mothers of our us free. Okay. And also, one more thing, the media is complicit. All of you are. When they first threw us in fucking jail, when they first put us in there, you're all running around saying human trafficker. None of you said, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? Where's the pictures? Where's the videos? None.
The police have the evidence. They literally have thousands of pages of evidence against you, you fucking moron. Some of this is being leaked, and it's irrefutable. There's fucking text messages between Andrew and his quote-unquote bottom bitch talking about how they fucking raped this one girl, and they're trying to scare her away from going to the police by, like, stealing all of her fucking property.
3 years later, they do the same fucking bullshit. And you're all sitting there going, human trafficking. I'm not a human trafficker, clearly. If you human traffic someone, there is evidence. This is a setup, it's a stitch up. The 3 prosecutors at DCAT in my house, I said, why are you here? There's no case. They said, there's a case if we make one. This is a fucking setup. All of it is. And listen, quiet. I'm not talking to you, sir. Be quiet. Be quiet. This is a setup. It is done on purpose, and it is designed to come up with the most heinous possible crimes to slander our name. And every single Romanian citizen should be disgusted that they are spending millions of euros wasting.
By the way, this guy has admitted to having relationships with underage girls. So, like, is this surprising that he's getting charged with trafficking minors?
Their time trying to put innocent men in jail instead of fixing the roads, fixing the hospitals, fixing this country. You have a beautiful country full of beautiful people, and 3 idiots at DCAL have fucked everything. As for money laundering, sure, I'll approach that. Money laundering, no problem. Supposedly we're money launderers because we buy luxury goods and we try and hide that we buy luxury goods for other people and hide our money. If you buy your girlfriend a handbag in Romania, they charge you with fucking money laundering. This is disgusting. Disgusting. We have children. This is disgusting. Thank you.
Well, they're fucked. This link you gave me is broken.
What Barack is legislating.
Weighing in at 175 pounds from Honolulu, Hawaii, the Commander-in-Chief of Pain, Barack, yes we can, Obama.
Sitcom where the Tate brothers are in their home when it gets raided. They look at each other in shock. Andrew says, I thought you said you bribed the Romanians, WTF. Tristan looks at him, I thought you said you were going to do it. Audience laughter roars.
Yeah, if only it was that funny for the victims, but yeah, basically. Thanks for the donation, Caleb.
Weighing in at a state secret from Pyongyang, North Korea, the Pyongyang powerhouse, the nuclear grappler, Kim Rocket Man Jong-un.
You're gonna pay for that wall! You're fired!
Weighing in at 265 pounds from New York City, the Mar-a-Lago Mauler, Donald Togepi Trump.
No more lucky! Let's go, Joe!
Stepping in for the stumbling incumbent, weighing in at 125 pounds, Kamala Beat of Vengeance Harris. Weighing in at 250 pounds from Pretoria.
Elon Musk is, like, skinny and fat. This is inaccurate.
South Africa. Elon, the Techno King Musk.
The power of Christ compels you to tap out!
Weighing in at 160 pounds of pure divine might from Vatican City, the Pontiff of Pain, the Holy Roller, Pope Blessed Be These Hands Francis. Weighing in at 165 pounds from Vadnagar, Gujarat, the Delhi Destroyer, Narendra Make in India Modi.
Yes.
Not bad.
Genderqueer, transmasc, and queer.
What's transmasc?
Transmasc is like people under the non-binary umbrella identifying like or presenting masc.
Masculine?
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm trans and my sexuality is unlabeled. I use he/him pronouns. Yeah, and I use he/they pronouns.
Fluid.
Can you explain what that means to me a little bit more?
Whatever turns you on.
Pronouns.
She, her, it. I feel like, honestly, it should not be a bad thing. Like, I've talked to people who go with they and them. I'm like, well, in the grammar of things, how would you want to represent yourself? I was like, I mean, I guess it. Because it's like, you're it. You're the it. Like, it shouldn't be a bad name. It should just be...
Who cares? My response to all of this is, who cares? They can identify and do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't affect me. Thanks for the donation, though. What are we? Riley donated $2. How are you, VG? Do you remember my bird, Jacko? Wow. Oh my goodness. It's a good cockatiel. That's a good cockatiel. Also, what's your opinion about schools, discipline? Do you think they're getting soft? I don't know exactly what you're talking about. So, I just don't know what you mean. Like, you mean schools disciplining children? I guess it's fine. Thanks, Riley. That party they're having is getting loud. Mike donated $2. Do you like AOC? No, she's fucktard. Thanks for the donation, Mike.
Will we land on Mars in this lifetime?
Probably. I guess. I don't know. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Young.
Yeah, they back in jail.
They back in jail.
Only for 24 hours. But what's really important is they're being charged with new additional stuff. And you know what? We told you guys this was going to happen.
No.
Yes.
You said it.
With these kinds of investigations, I think people expect charges to be instantaneous, but that's just not the way police investigations work, especially not ones on this governmental scale. Even look at the FBI. The FBI builds a case for 4 or 5 years before they charge someone.
True.
And when they charge you, best believe they bring the whole fucking roof down. That's why generally governmental charges from like big organizations like the FBI, things like that, always stick, is because they've done a lot of investigating. They've pulled on every thread. And what ends up happening generally with a lot of like criminal organizations, which is what they're alleging Andrew Tate is part of, is that when they pull on one thread, all of a sudden they start finding different threads, and they find like, oh, organized crime, money laundering, tax evasion, whatever it might be. And so that's why, irrespective of how you feel about the investigation, when these things take a long time for charges to be laid, it's not because they don't have a case. That's why they always say here in the States specifically, is like, they bring a RICO charge against you, it's already over, because they already got everything they need. They got snitches, they got wiretaps, they got bank transfers, they got phone records, right? They generally do the things the same way. When they run into RICO on you boys, okay, when they're trying to take out a criminal organization, the process is slow. It is slow and long, but they gonna get your ass.
When they run a RICO on your ass. You said that like they was running a train. Huh?
It feels like
it. Feels like
because they're running over 20, 30 people. So if you're unaware, Andrew Tate, all right, everyone's favorite sex offender, is facing a tremendous amount of jail time. That's what he is, man. You have to remember.
Would you skibbity riz a giant on God no cap like it's Phantom Tax?
I'm not sure, because I don't know what any of that means. Thanks for the donation, though, GM Flash MX.
Remember, I'm not saying he's guilty because they found him guilty. I'm saying he's guilty because he self-snitched.
He said it.
I think the one that really matters to people is the fact that they're being alleged to have trafficked underage people. Don't ask me, just watch them talk.
2 girls have claimed Andrew Tate approached them on social media when they still attended school.
PhD is a pimp and hose degree. So the recruitment process is, you message them on Instagram.
I was contacted by Andrew Tate, the older of the Tate brothers, 3 years ago when I was just 16.
Daria was 16 when she says she received a private message on Instagram 2 years ago from Andrew Tate's account. It read simply, Romanian girl, followed by a strawberry emoji.
What do you inbox the woman? I live in Bucharest, Romania, but it doesn't matter if I'm in London, Bucharest, Moscow, anywhere I am. I just say Bucharest ? Or Moscow ? Or London ? Sometimes, because like I said, intrigue, I'll put a completely pointless emoji on the end. Some cherries, or an orange, or a strawberry.
I asked around to my other friends and my classmates who were also 15, 16 at the time. And a couple of them also told me they received messages.
So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck. Not about me.
It was a pretty well-known fact that he had kind of a network of young girls.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck would I read for you? You've got a fit sister who's 16, maybe.
Muslims have the best frame on earth. I want a virgin wife at 16 who's going to obey me. That's what I want.
You know, you said it looks like I'm in a teenage girl's bedroom.
Yeah.
To some people, that would be an insult, but to me, I find that quite flattering, to be honest. You know, like, that's exactly what you'd expect.
I'm fucking all these 15-year-old.
You know who one of the guys was? That was Candace Owens' husband.
Sorry if this is already well known, but are you still married?
Yes, I am still married. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
You know how Candace Owens always defended this guy?
Yeah.
It's because her husband's really good friends with this dude. So she's talking about he's such a good man. Yo, if they weren't buddy or part of the same fucking scam, these people would never associate with a dude like this who's a self-proclaimed pimp, loves to bang 15, 14-year-old, 16. They don't care. Bro, that's when I see a conservative and they defend Andrew Tate, I know they have no principles or values. Because literally his whole life has been the antithesis of any kind of conservative traditional value. Dude's out here pimping girls, defrauding men. Basically, he himself admits too.
I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all.
You feel bad or no?
Fuck no. To give a solitary
I don't care. I used to take lonely men and take hundreds of thousands for them through my webcam business, and like I enjoyed it because like, give me your money, you're a piece of. Like, what kind of moral person does that? But
I've got my main, my bottom, Vivian. So Vivian here. That's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia.
Hassan Biker gonna need to up his finasteride dose after all his molding at the DNC.
You know I was at the protest yesterday, right? I was at the protest 1 day ago, brother. Wait, I'm sorry, what did you say? Get out of here? You think I'm your fucking enemy? You think I am against Palestinian emancipation? Honestly, get the fuck out of here. Fucking child. What do you mean, honestly, no? Why are you chirping at me then?
Don't call me a fucking child.
Because you're being a fucking child. Be an adult. Think clearly. Dumbass. Oh, he does. And I agree with him. And I agree with him. So why the fuck's he yelling at me? Hey, what's up? Sure.
Fucking dumbass. Son blames a DGGA for rating less reliable than Joe Rogan on the newly released media bias chart.
Apparently Joe Rogan is more reliable than you. What is this? Hold on.
Why does this surprise him? Like,
the new media bias thing came out. Is this for real? Wait, what? There's no way, dude.
Hassan is not bigger than me. He's smaller and weaker. I don't know where the fuck you got that idea. Like, look at my arm compared to his arm. Like, are you kidding me?
No way, dude. There is no fucking way.
I don't even think he's as tall as me.
Contains misleading info. You want to know something that Donnie told me? Donnie fucking reached out to the Pointer Institute guy who called me a misinformer on the New York Times. Okay, I think this list is from them. The first time I'm actually mentioned on the media bias chart, they put me below selective, incomplete, unfair persuasion, propaganda, or other issues, okay? And on the right, I'm under Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan, Red Scare Podcast, Ben Shapiro, The Ingram Angle, Project Veritas. Project Veritas.
Dumbass, you fucking promote Houthi terrorists on your Twitch streams.
He might be a child, but that pro-Palestinian man is a tarsot, which is even worse.
That is true. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Could you beat Hassan in a cage fight? Yes. Very easily. Dude, have you seen Hassan try to box? He's not a naturally athletic person. He's extremely uncoordinated and has no power. Like, he literally cannot produce, force. He's kind of big because he's tall and he lifts weights, but he's very fucking weak, not that muscular, and he has no power. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I am the equivalent of InfoWars. Like, this has got to be a fucking DGG guy who wrote this list, I assume, to just be like, oh, he's the... Oh, you're getting food?
What a dummy.
Wait, can you get me food too? Can you bring something back for me? Please. Please, some fucking Pepsi Zeros and waters and food, please.
Who has stronger punches, Sneeko or Hassan? I guess I'd have to go with Hassan just because he's like a bigger person, but Sneeko can't throw a punch either. He also produces 0 punching power, and he's also extremely skinny too, so like there's no weight behind his punches either.
Please, I'm dying. I'm suffering. I'm starving. Dog, I'm lower than Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, and all of the, like, National Review, Newsmax, OAN. I'm lower than OAN.
You'd think this would be like a wake-up call for him, but instead he's like, DGGer must have done this.
What the fuck? Bro, they're so crazy. Breitbart is here? New York Post and Breitbart are here? Okay, this...
Fucking idiot.
Try this shit out, Chicago style. Ask the lady at the counter, what's the best thing?
We allowed in here, y'all?
Destiny made you. Good? What a fucking loser. Ask the lady.
What did he say?
We allowed in here, y'all?
Destiny made you.
Good?
Destiny made you. That's funny.
What a fucking loser. Ask the lady at the counter, what is the best thing? Try this shit out.
That's funny. Yankee donated $3. Let me see.
My father and I were able to drive our car from the town of Ramallah all the way to Yafo, to Tel Aviv, to the beach, to the zoo, pretty much every weekend. And nobody harassed us. We were able to just shop. We were able to enjoy the beach. This is my early memory as a child. There was not even one checkpoint. Things start changing immediately after the beginning of the first Palestinian Intifada. It started with the chant from the river to the sea. Very romantic. Soon later, it became stabbing. Shortly later, it became mass shooting. Within no time, it became suicide bombing attacks. What a democracy should do in a situation when they are not able to stop the people, an entire society. I don't want to say complicit, but the Palestinians praised suicide bombers as martyrs, as heroes of the nation. Look at my case. When I opposed that, I said, no, it's not good. It's bad. It's very bad to kill people indiscriminately. You know, Hamas did not kill people only on October 7. Hamas has a long history of suicide bombing attacks. They blow up universities, schools, buses, markets, beaches. They targeted everywhere. So Israel had to take some security measures. And again, even in the best democracy, when you are under consistent threat, there are exceptions. And some of the civil laws could be actually replaced with some emergency laws. Even the United States did this during the war against terrorism. So when you are under consistent threat, it's very different. But somebody can sit in comfort and say, hey, how about we take some of the Western values, the democratic values, and say, oh, look at Israel. They claim to be a democracy, but look how they're treating the Palestinians. Well, terrorists in prison, have they earned equal rights to decent citizens in civilization who know their responsibility and their obligation towards the other, who don't harm the others? Of course not. So sometimes when we are dealing with emergency situation, we cannot say and force the people in the Middle East to just act according our values. We sit here in the United States, we don't have suicide bombing attacks, we don't have missile attacks, we don't have infiltration on a regular basis. So we cannot take our values and force Israel to do the same.
Yeah, Masab Yusuf is pretty fucking based. Thanks for the donation, Yankee. Son Goku donated $2. Does Wonder Woman have a chance at defeating Hulk? I would say probably not. I'm not too familiar with Wonder Woman comics, and I think her power has changed over time. They've made her a little closer to, like, Thor than when she was originally written. So I don't know, maybe. I think it kind of depends. Thanks for the donation, though, Son Goku. Jakob donated $3. Facts.
My father and I were able.
Didn't we just watch this? Did you donate the same thing to me twice? Yeah, we just watched that. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Why do you never say A?
I think I do say A occasionally. Just don't really ever have to say it when I'm streaming. Thanks for the donation, though, Speed Racer.
Hassan, do yourself a favor and go back to the circus you escaped from.
I think it would do the world a favor. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Son Goku donated $2.
Yeah, got a new show for y'all. Damn good show. I don't know what.
We watched this, I think, like yesterday or 2 days ago. I have no idea what LeBron James is doing with his training here.
Really arched. Yeah. There you go. That's good form. You know what?
Yeah, that doesn't make too much sense to me. Thanks for the donation, though, Son Goku. Dodo donated $2.
Would you look at that, folks? Lightning Larry Luciano, a living legend, slowly making his way center stage. And what a proud moment for this sport. The crowd is going absolutely nuts for Larry. He's almost there. Ah, yes, sirree. Any minute now to...
I don't know why I didn't see Jimmy Carter. I didn't see the whole DNC convention, but why the fuck would they get Jimmy Carter to speak? Thanks, Dodo. Callus donated $2. In your opinion, do SSRIs work better than placebo for anxiety, depression? Yes, because the research supports that. Thanks for the donation, Callus.
We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company. So Vivian's been with me 6 years.
So he's been with Vivian for 6 years, right?
Because Vivian's younger. Vivian's like 21.
Vivian's 21. And at this point, he's been a girlfriend for 6 years.
There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends. There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends. From 10 years ago, 10 years ago.
I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen?
Hello everyone, I just wanted to say something about the video that's been released recently about me and my ex-boyfriend and
So she was about 15 when this happened. Yikes.
Tate. Andrew is my still great friend. What you guys saw on the video is just what we used to do. It was just pure game. He's a great guy. He would never hurt anyone.
There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends.
Listen. Look at
Whoa, she would have been 14.
the camera. Why are you getting hit?
You do the math.
I don't want to.
2 years of support. Wish I could keep my Finn badge. Yeah, the Finn badge is great.
You do the math.
I don't want to.
She was basically 14, 15 when they got into a relationship. That means when did he start talking to her?
When she was 14.
Or earlier. Depending on how long that shit took. Think about that. Think about this.
Coconuts in Barbados. You know, so far, we haven't said what we thought. We didn't say what we thought. We didn't say nothing about that. I didn't say it. He didn't say it. We just gave you facts. Not facts are coming out from us, but facts are coming from them. Just based on the facts. If you still defend him,
I mean, these guys will defend him. Sorry, go ahead.
If you still defend him, you're a whole ass creep. You're as bad as him, to me. If after seeing this, you're like, well, there's something really wrong with you.
Age of consent isn't just 15 in Romania. I think it's only 15 for citizens. If you're a foreigner, then it's not 15.
What were you saying?
These guys all, the type of people who defend him are anti-establishment.
Let me see. No, apparently it's 16. The following minimum legal ages apply in Romania. Legal age to have sexual intercourse, 16 plus.
Who do you hate more? Frank Tufano or Zen Shapiro?
Definitely Frank Tufano. He's a bigger piece of shit. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer. So it's 16 in Romania, not 15. Minors. Under Romanian law, minors are people under 18. Nevertheless, civil law differentiates between minors under 14 who are completely devoid of legal capacity and minors age 14, 17. Limited. So it's 16. Age of consent is 16. Sexual intercourse, oral or anal sex, as well as any acts of vaginal or anal penetration committed with a juvenile age 13 to 15 shall be punishable.
The age of consent should be 18 worldwide. End of story.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Committed with a juvenile age 13 to 15 shall be punishable by no less than 1 and no more than 5 years imprisonment. So, no.
You know, they want to stop the... They have a problem with Epstein and all this stuff. I'm like, what did Epstein do?
Well, I mean, he had a whole organization about trafficking and
getting young girls, and putting them on islands.
Yeah.
And isn't that exactly what Tate's doing? So because Tate repeats what they like, they defend him, but they whine about Epstein and people like Epstein all the time. Tate is no different. Tate's no different. He's just changed his grift. He realized he was going to go under, so he changed his plan. He realized there's more money with Hustlers University getting like tens of millions from fucking weirdos who think they're going to learn something and somehow better than college, right? So he just changed his grift. He changed his lingo. He's all about male self-improvement and all this other stuff. Back in the day, he was loving the fact that he was taking lonely men's money. He didn't give a shit. They want to protect kids. But they didn't mind going after little teenagers and converting them for their sex operation. Okay? Listen to this.
It's like taking the virginity of a really beautiful woman. I get to have this experience and no one else gets to have it again. It is a little bit better, but the real pleasure is in the fact that somebody else would love to have this, and I get it.
I have no idea why anybody would have interest in having sex with a virgin. Like, this has to be a small dick thing. Girls with no sexual experience, like, just cannot handle it. Either it just won't fit in, or they're just going to be in pain and tell you to stop. This is just a small dick thing.
That's why this is good.
That makes sense. I'll give you that. I agree with that.
When you are in the true abundance mindset of you can have the pick of the crop, you can have the world's most attractive women. I mean, one of my main chicks has 200,000 Instagram followers, and I took her virginity when she was 17. It's an abundance mindset. Yeah. I have so many girlfriends, and so many wonderful girlfriends, and so many...
Get fucked, Russia. I'm not even mad at this retaliatory strike from Ukraine on Russia in this war. Russia went from the fuck around phase to the glorious phase where they're finding out LMFAO die Nazis.
The war in Ukraine tonight, Russia is now reporting a major drone attack on Moscow. Ian Panel in Ukraine again tonight.
Get fucked.
Images of shock and awe in Russia. A cluster bomb attack on Putin's troops struggling to defend their own land. Powerful propaganda from Ukraine which wants to spread fear and discontent in Russia. Overnight, Ukraine launching at least 45 drones, nearly a dozen aimed at the Russian capital. All were reportedly intercepted. Thousands of Ukrainian troops have poured into Russia, and among them, an American fighter.
What's the resistance like from the Russians? Did you see any Russians?
I saw zero. These images will likely outrage the Kremlin. Tonight, in an exclusive interview, we meet the US Air Force veteran who's just returned from the battlefield inside Russia.
This has caught everybody by surprise. Clearly, many of the Ukrainians by surprise as well.
We've verified.
Nonsense, Dodo. An arbitrary number like 18 doesn't suddenly change something about you.
Thanks for the donation, F.
His identity and these images he says he took inside Russia, but aren't naming him over his concerns he could face retaliation.
Don't you have any concerns about the Russian reaction to you going in, other Americans crossing over the border?
They may not like it, but we didn't start this. We're simply helping people, freedom-loving people, against, totalitarian regime.
The US veteran says he went across the border to advise a sniper team and thinks Russia is a spent force.
There's no spirit, there's no courage left. They don't understand what's happening. They feel betrayed by their leaders, and I think they just realize the game is up.
David, the picture here in Ukraine is very different. Ukrainian troops are on the back foot and Russia is
Thoughts on Morgan Spurlock dying recently? Were you fan of Super Size Me?
Morgan Spurlock was a lying dumbass, and whatever, his degenerate fucking lifestyle killed him. He was alcoholic for his entire life. I don't like the guy. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
advancing in the East. David?
Ian Panel with us again tonight. Thank you, Ian.
Virgins. She was a Polish virgin. Man, it hurt her at every moment that I was doing it, but it felt good for me, so who gives a shit?
So what? They got money laundering on him now, which we told you guys they were going to do. Why? Because this dude admitted to money laundering. Not because I think so. It's in his own shit. Look.
He gave a class on how to do it. And the prime example of how he was doing it was him. Same thing with the other stuff. So
we did this video a while back. Now I want you guys to see this, okay? Not my opinion about him doing the money laundering. This is him. So Andrew Tate says, "You're not stupid," and he's talking to one of the victims. "You're not stupid, and you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I'm really doing." And the victim says, "Webcam?" And he says, "I've been doing this for a long time with a team of girls working on video chat. The company was fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money. Some of the girls who worked for me, I used them to do other things, to move money or illegal things, documents, and I will never do that with you." Basically telling the girl. So, what do you think happens? When they grab his cell phone, they look through all the records, they see these texts, what do you think they start doing? They start pulling financial records. They start demanding that banks send them stuff because they think this is part of a criminal investigation. The reason why he got charged for the other stuff and not this until now is because the process for actually finding every detail that they need to confirm the money laundering, because it's part of a larger criminal network. You think Andrew Tate and his 5 subordinates are the other ones getting charged? No, there's other people on the other end of this who are getting charged. Yeah, do I believe that these guys go for underage women? Absolutely. Like I said, dudes who obsess with going after virgins, dudes who obsess with 16, 15, close a line, you think they actually care if their girl's a year or 2 below it? You think they care if it's illegal? They already say they don't care about the law. They don't care about... I don't feel bad for these guys being in jail. They chose Romania. They think it's a fucking joke. This is them talking about what they think about the law.
And Romanian court, so there's some, oh no, not court in Romania. Dude, they're corruption free, as we all know. They put me in jail. I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Boom, boom, this some hoes, this sells mine. I'm ready, put me in jail. I don't give a fuck. You take their court case, shove it up your mouth. Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I have committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost to make this all go away?
Like I said, I don't feel bad for these guys.
Fucking retarded,
These guys are scumbags, okay? By their, not based off what I think, what they say. They scumbags. And anyone to sit here, any grown man who wants to sit here and advocate for dudes who love taking the virginities of 14, 15-year-olds while they're in their mid-30s, any dude who wants to advocate that, I hope I lose you as a fan too. Y'all some weirdos, okay? And all these dudes clamoring for this stuff, just say you don't give a shit about women. They say, that's fine, just say that, okay? Say that. Just move on. So we just know you hate ladies. Just say that. But I'm not interested in having a conversation with people who want to just do this whole running in defense for sex traffickers, for dudes who obsess over having underage women. These guys are sex offenders, and that's what they are. So that's what I think about this. What you think about this?
Coconuts in Barbados.
Hey, listen, I'm the guy behind the scenes. Sorry.
2 coconuts in jail. Throw away the key. That's all I got to say about that.
Hey guys, and there's way more. There's their criminal enterprise is fucked up with the WhatsApp message that they have, the women threatening the girls to either work or they get beaten up. These dudes are definitely going to jail. The question is just how long. The question is how long.
And who are they taking with them?
You guys remember when they first came out, they said, oh, this shit gonna go away, they're gonna be free in no time. 2 to 3 years later.
Backstreet back. All right.
There's just more charges.
Yep.
This is not going to go away. They're not getting out of this unless they run away from Romania somehow and escape, which I don't think they can because they're under surveillance all the time. It's over for these guys. They just wasted a bit of time before they go in for good. And you know, when they go in, what I'll say, good riddance. We kept dangerous men off the streets, and that's always a good thing for the community. Anything else?
No.
All right. That's my thoughts on this. Joe, goofy ass.
Say low.
Tate is literally fucking retarded, dude. Full on fucking retarded.
Hey man, would you ever start a family? Settle down, have kids, all that bull. I said, mother, I already have kids. But guess what? They don't know me, son. They're still waiting for the f***ing groceries. 26 years ago. Merry Christmas. Stay hard. I signed up for the Special Olympics.
Any opinion on ex-vegan mukbanger Nick Hokado Avocado?
He's a degenerate fucktard and he's gonna die soon. It's really, all there is to say about him. No more, no less. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
vegetables my whole life. It shouldn't be a problem to beat a couple in a marathon. I thought wrong, but halfway through the race, this Hot Wheels mother is slowly getting past me. But here's the thing about vegetables. Just like everybody, they need their windpipe to breathe. Long story short, I won the motherfucking race. And it was worth every minute of the 10 years I had to spend in prison for attempted murder. Stay hard. I get asked all the time. How do you know?
Yeah, these aren't funny.
After more than a decade and $500 million in funding, the U.S. Navy built an electromagnetic railgun capable of nailing targets up to 100 nautical miles away at velocities reaching Mach 7. A railgun is a linear motor device typically designed as a weapon that uses electromagnetic force to launch high-velocity projectiles. The projectile normally does not contain explosives, instead relying on the projectile's high speed, mass, and kinetic energy to inflict damage. The railgun uses a pair of parallel conductors, rails, along which a sliding armature is accelerated by the electromagnetic effects of a current that flows down one rail, into the armature, and then back along the other rail. It is based on principles similar to those of the homopolar motor. At full capability, the railgun will be able to fire a projectile more than 200 nautical miles at a muzzle velocity of Mach 7 and impacting its target at Mach 5. In contrast, the current Navy gun, Mark 4-5 5-inch gun, has a range of about 13 nautical miles. The high-velocity projectile will destroy its targets due to its kinetic energy, rather than with conventional explosives. Furthermore, the safety aspect of the railgun is one of its greatest potential advantages. According to Dr. Elizabeth Dandria, ONR Electromagnetic Railgun Program Manager, safety on board ship is increased because no explosives are required to fire the projectile and no explosive rounds are stored in the ship's magazine. The technology was close to making the leap from science fiction to reality in the 21st century with the testing of prototypes. The concept held the possibility of providing an effective weapon at pennies on the dollars compared to smart bombs and missiles. That's because railguns use electricity instead of gunpowder or jet or rocket engines to accelerate a projectile at 6 or 7 times the speed of sound. That creates enough kinetic energy to destroy targets. Unfortunately, in July 2021, the Navy announced that the service has decided to pause research and development of the much-hyped electromagnetic railgun, EMRG, at the end of 2021 in light of fiscal constraints, combat system integration challenges, and the prospective technology maturation of other weapon concepts. According to the Navy, the decision to pause the EMRG program is consistent with department-wide reform initiatives to free up resources in support of other Navy priorities.
In the recording process of these videos. You don't get to near 30 doing all of this every day without the help of substances.
Anonymous donators, I'm 25, still virgin, thinking of sexual stuff all the time despite putting a lot of effort. Does hiring an escort worth the risk? The calm myself. It's up to you, dude. Everyone has their own sort of risk-reward kind of metrics. It's entirely up to you, and I don't really care. Hire an escort if you want, don't if you don't. Yeah, I heard that the Acolyte got canceled. That's not surprising. It was a really shitty show, so... No shit. Obviously, I'm not watching this.
His career as a public figure arguably began with his opposition to Canada's Bill C-16. This legislative summary from the Library of Parliament describes the bill as follows. The bill adds gender identity or expression to the list of prohibited grounds of discrimination in the Canadian Human Rights Act, and the list of characteristics of identifiable groups protected from hate propaganda in the Criminal Code. Peterson claimed this amounted to a law for compelled speech.
It requires compelled speech. The Ontario Human Rights Commission explicitly states that refusing to refer to a person by their self-identified name and proper personal pronoun, which is the pronouns that I was objecting to, can be interpreted as harassment, and so that's explicitly defined in the relevant policies. So I think that's appalling, first of all, because there hasn't been a piece of legislation.
Hopeful vegan donators, when do you think we'll start to see tide shift and society begin to support veganism and it becomes societally encouraged? I have no idea. Not vegan world, nor majority vegan, just seen as the politically correct thing to do by leftists mainly. My bet is 2040 because of climate change. I don't think anybody's gonna give a shit about veganism because of climate change. I have no idea, though. Thanks for the donation, Hopeful Vegan.
And it requires Canadians to utter a particular form of address that has particular ideological implications before, and I think that it's a line that we shouldn't cross.
Since then, he has maintained that the part of the bill he cares more about is the compelled speech part, not so much the gender part.
But I'm not saying words that other people want me to say. And the idea of compelled speech is like, the bill was this much about gender.
Right.
And it was this much about, oh yeah, the government's going to tell me what to say, hey.
From the beginning, though, legal experts have disagreed with Peterson. Speaking on Bill C-16, law professor at the University of Toronto, Brenda Kosman, said, the misuse of gender pronouns without more cannot rise to the level of a crime. More recently, Peterson has voiced opposition to another legal issue related to sex and gender, bans on gay conversion therapy. To be clear, this isn't because he thinks conversion therapy works. Peterson has stated that he doesn't think being gay is a pathology or something that can be purposely changed.
So I think the talk of conversion therapy,
Why don't you recommend spirulina? Blue-green algae is very dangerous, and it can very easily be contaminated by toxic forms of blue-green algae, so it's just not a safe supplement to take. And is soy butter healthy? Probably not. Most butter substitutes contain a lot of saturated fat in the form of palm oil, so probably not.
if someone's saying, well, I'll cure you of your homosexuality, it's like, well, it's not a disease, first of all, and so it doesn't need a cure, and probably you can't do that anyways, and it's not the proper way to advertise clinical services, let's say, because that isn't really how a clinical relationship works.
Peterson's concerns instead come from his idea that conversion therapy bans limit the ability of therapists to do their job.
And then so now in Canada, because they banned conversion therapy, it's now all affirmation therapy.
Right, this is
There's no such thing as affirmation therapy. Look, I had a 14-year-old kid who was a
What a retard.
client of mine. And, he was in the mid stages of puberty. He was a pretty creative kid. Well, there was an aggressively gay guy in his school who was hitting on him and trying to convince him that he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't know. So he wanted to talk to me about it. It's like, well, I was going to tell him. What the hell do I know about this kid?
Exactly.
And I wanted to hear what his problems were and how it might be sorted out, what he wanted. And like that's what you do in therapy, is you help people sort out their problems. Now this idea is you come to me with an axiomatic claim, whatever it is about your identity, and my job is to rubber stamp it. It's like, I'm not a therapist then. The notion that therapists affirm is an anti-truth, because look, let's say you come to me and you say,
Migo Donatiller, so feeling kind of pissed right now. I went to the Takira. What's a Takira? And I specifically asked for a vegan burrito, and unfortunately, she still put a bunch of beef and cheese in my burrito. Would I still be vegan to give it to a homeless person or eat it? No. Why in the fuck didn't you ask for a refund? Just throw it in the trash and ask for a refund. Thanks for the donation, Migo.
You have a proposition about yourself, and I say, no, I'm your therapist. No, that's wrong. It's like, that's not good therapy. But neither is, you have a proposition about yourself, and you're disturbed enough to come to a therapeutic session, and I say, yes, you're right. It's like, I don't know if you're right.
In December 2021, Bill C-4 was passed unanimously by the House of Commons in Canada. According to a legislative summary from the Library of Parliament, Bill C-4 amends the criminal code to, among other things, prohibit anyone from causing a person to undergo conversion therapy or providing it to a person, promoting or advertising services related to conversion therapy, removing a child from Canada to undergo conversion therapy abroad, and receiving a financial or material benefit from the provision of conversion therapy. Motivating this ban is the widespread agreement among major health organizations in the developed world that practices like these are ineffective and harmful. According to the American Medical Association, conversion practices are not only ineffective, but have been shown to result in depression, anxiety, sexual dysfunction, and an increase in suicidal behaviors. That said, is Peterson's understanding of the ban correct? Are mental health professionals now legally obligated to tell any clients curious or confused about their sexuality or gender that they are LGBT? Would Peterson be breaking the law by honestly exploring the identity of a client? The bill defines conversion therapy as follows: a practice, treatment, or service designed to change a person's sexual orientation to heterosexual, change a person's gender identity to cisgender, change a person's gender expression so that it conforms to the sex assigned to the person at birth, repress or reduce non-heterosexual attraction or sexual behavior, repress a person's non-cisgender identity, or repress or reduce a person's gender expression that does not conform to the sex assigned to the person at birth. It then continues, for greater certainty, this definition does not include a practice, treatment, or service that relates to the exploration or development of an integrated personal identity, such as a practice, treatment, or service that relates to a person's gender transition, and that is not based on an assumption that a particular sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression is to be preferred over another.
What a surprise! Jordan Peterson is lying about a fucking bill again.
If that's a bit complicated for you, the gist is this. In this bill, conversion therapy refers only to systematic efforts that assume that one orientation or identity is inherently preferable to another, and subsequently attempts to change or repress a person's sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. So, no, Peterson nor any other mental health professional is required to tell a client they are LGBT, or even rubber stamp their identity. Exploration of identity is not discouraged here. When Peterson says about his approach to a sexually confused client,
it's like, well, I was going to tell him. What the hell do I know about this kid?
Exactly.
You know, and I wanted to hear what his problems were and how it might be sorted out, what he wanted. And like that's what you do in therapy, is you help people sort out their problems.
He describes a perfectly acceptable method of therapy under the law. It appears that, once again, Peterson does not understand a bill he is criticizing. Even so, he's continued to speak against it, even citing the bill as a reason he left the University of Toronto. As his 2022 op-ed in the National Post reads, that, combined with some recent legislative changes in Canada claiming to outlaw so-called conversion therapy, but really making it exceedingly risky for clinicians to do anything ever but agree always and about everything with their clients, have likely doomed the practice of clinical psychology. Thanks to statements like these, Peterson has gained a place at the forefront of the conservative battle against affirming care for sexual and gender minorities. Just recently, more than 100 articles have been published on Elon Musk comparing his child's gender transition to her being killed by the woke mind virus during an interview with Jordan Peterson. while centrist and left-leaning sources tended to respect the gender.
Migo Donateller, sorry, I meant to say by eating it is it trying to remove all the beef and cheese she put on there, but yeah, I don't think I can do that, so I just threw it in the bushes for the raccoons. Also, I called them, and those idiots said no refund. Poor cow, SMH. They didn't give you the order, so I would just argue with them infinitely, and if they want to call the police, then the police can drag me out. But if they didn't give you your fucking order, they're giving you the fucking refund, and don't leave until they give you a fucking refund or give you the right order. Fuck those people. Just learn to fucking be a dickhead and advocate for yourself. It's fine to make other people feel uncomfortable and start yelling and throwing a fit if you don't get what you want. If they didn't give you your fucking proper order and they're still making you pay, then fucking complain and refuse to fucking leave. Thanks for the donation though, Migo.
Of Musk's adult child, right-leaning outlets seem to reinforce Musk's intentional misgendering. I was able to easily compare these perspectives, of course, on Ground News, a news aggregator app and website I actually use every day. Do yourself a favor and check them out at ground.news/skeptic. They've even developed a My News Bias dashboard to keep track of your personal reading habits and if you have any news blind spots. Because most likely, yes. Yes, you do. This custom dashboard really helps me be mindful of how my news consumption is shaped and possibly even skewed by the type of sources and narratives I gravitate toward most. And by plainly seeing where the news I read is coming from, I can intentionally diversify how I stay up to date. Which is something Ground News makes even easier with their interest pages. I can follow my favorite topics to create a personalized news feed while still having access to the full spectrum of perspectives, ensuring that I have a more well-rounded understanding of any issue. So you can follow LGBTQ issues, religion, or even Jordan Peterson. Follow what you want, I won't judge. Okay, yeah, I probably did it a little. Go to Ground Divides to see this on the news. So, strangely, even as he's placed emphasis on the importance of honest exploration in therapy and said that attempts to change sexual orientation are not effective or appropriate clinical practice, Peterson has actually defended the practice of conversion therapy to a degree.
So many legislatures around the world now have banned so-called conversion therapy. And to me, this has been a catastrophe. Now, I know that there was a small percentage, mostly of fundamentalist Christian therapist types in the US, who were offering their services to homosexual people who were unhappy with their sexual orientation. And so you could have a discussion about whether that's ever appropriate or not, although I would say that's bloody well between the person and their therapist, as far as I'm concerned. But now that's illegal.
Like he said,
This is fucking retarded.
Conversion practices are usually religiously motivated, and while a relatively small minority of therapists in the developed world practice something like this, their reach is further than you might think. A recent study on the experiences of LGBTQ people in Canada found that 10% of respondents had experienced conversion therapy practices, though for trans and non-binary respondents, the rate was about 20%. 67% experienced conversion therapy practices in a religious setting, and 20% experienced it in licensed healthcare provider offices. The vast majority, that is 72% of those who experience conversion therapy practices, first attended before the age of 20. Now, this is the case in Canada. Studies of US LGBTQ populations point to an even greater prevalence of conversion practices. I'll link an article on that in the description if you'd like to read up on that. It's clear then that
This dumb bitch is spamming vegan activist pages. She was the podcast editor of Sean Baker, now has her own carnivore brand. Can you DM her for a debate? She's also on carnivore.fitness.
That link you gave me doesn't lead anywhere. She is on Instagram. Hey, I heard you've been spamming vegan activists pages. Would you be interested in debating the topic of veganism, including health and ethics? I normally host my debates live through Zoom. Message me back if you are interested. There we go. See if that idiot responds. Thanks for the donation, take her down. Thank you.
Significant number of queer people experience this harmful practice both inside and outside of religious settings, and people under 20 are most commonly subjected to it. This is a practice which does not allow for honest exploration of identity. It affirms only a specific, narrow view of identity, denies that any other view can rightfully exist, and is usually performed on kids. If I've understood Peterson correctly, he is against subjecting vulnerable young clients to a form of therapy that refuses honest exploration of identity in favor of shaping them into a particular model of sexuality or gender. Why then does he direct criticism at a yet unseen, hypothetical vision of affirmation therapy while defending the right of the existence of conversion therapy, a practice which we know happens, is demonstrably harmful, and contradicts the proper practice of therapy as Peterson himself defines it?
Let's say you come to me and you say, you have a proposition about yourself, and I say, no, I'm your therapist. No, that's wrong. It's like, that's not good therapy.
Why, in his mind, doesn't conversion therapy threaten the continued existence of clinical psychology? Why does it deserve legal protection while the mere
Migo donate $2. Yeah, the thing is, I forgot to mention, I didn't check the order till I got home. Usually they make it right, but today they got a new lady working, so she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. I'm just give them a bad review and never go back. Well, that sounds sensible. Thanks for the donation, Migo.
Of so-called affirmation therapy should be treated as a gross violation of proper clinical practice. For help understanding conversion therapy bans and the anxieties around them, I reached out to counseling psychologist Dr. Iggy Moon, who is the chair of the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, coalition in the UK. The MOU is a document signed by over 25 health, counseling, and psychotherapy organizations which aims to end the practice of conversion therapy in the UK for LGBTQ people of all kinds. I showed them all of the clips of Peterson that I've shown you in this video so far, and they had this to say.
Is that what he said? He said that, yeah? Gosh.
Yeah, what are your thoughts there?
Look, I can talk about the MOU. The MOU says explicitly the position of the MOU is not to deny or discourage or exclude anyone who's got any uncertain feelings around their sexuality or gender identity from seeking or receiving that appropriate help. And, you know, that actually we should explore it. And I think we represent quite a lot of healthcare workers, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and it's for them to decide in their organisations how they intend to roll that out. So we don't deny that people may want to explore, and there is no trying to prevent people from exploring who they are. Where I work, these are conversations that you would have, and you'd have them in a way whereby you could explore gender and the parents are in the room and the clinicians are there, and you can do it in lots of different ways, because I'm sure that Jordan must know that by now the therapy world has got an expansive way of exploring with young people who they are, what they want to do, and how they want to be.
Having read up on conversion therapy bans, this is what I expected. But Dr. Moon also shared some insight into the anxieties surrounding conversion therapy bans, which I hadn't considered.
I do think, Drew, that it probably raises that issue. I did some research, and I did it consistently between 1994 and 2009, and it showed that in the training of counselling psychologists in the UK, it was a maximum of 16 hours over 7 years of training, because they'd reached doctoral level. So over 7 years of training, they'd only had 16 hours in total of what was called often difference and diversity, you know, these euphemisms that they...
Are these healthy?
Korean barbecue, crunchy chickpeas. I'd say so. They're a little high in sodium. As long as you don't eat, like, you know, the entire bag in one day, should be fine for sodium. It's not a bad food. It's pretty much just chickpeas with barbecue sauce. Thanks for the donation, Ali G. Riley donated $2 VG. I have a question. What is your advice to anyone who is going down this extreme line of questioning when it comes to veganism? Like, what about mowing your lawn? What about stepping on bugs, etc.? Thanks, not trying to annoy you. It's just about rights violations. So, as long as you're not violating the rights of anybody, it's just not a problem. You may step on a bug. Bugs might hit your windshield when you're driving. There may be some bugs laying in the grass, but again, I don't see how it's necessarily violating the rights of any animals. Thanks for the donation, though, Riley. Chris, thanks for the gifted membership. Appreciate it.
Then crop up that ghettoise intersectional thinking. So when you ask, if I asked a doctoral level counselling psychology student, okay, you know, what have you thought about in relation to religion, horror, you know, gender, sexuality, class, ethnicity, race, disability? To think that the maximum that they'd had on all of those topics was 16 hours, I think sort of gives us an explanation as to why people might go, oh dear, if I'm faced with a transgender lesbian, what's that going to mean about what they want from me? I can't do it. I'm really very unable to do it. The problem is not me. It's to do with, these conversion therapy bans.
Now, I do think Dr. Moon might be onto something in the case of certain therapists, particularly in the UK. But in Peterson's case, and in North America generally, there's another factor that must be considered. Remember this clip I showed near the beginning?
And the idea of compelled speech, it's like the bill was this much about gender.
Right.
And it was this much about, right. Oh yeah, the government's going to tell me what to say, hey.
Well, listen to what Ben Shapiro said in response.
To me, the problem with a lot of this is less a free speech issue, even though I'm on the same page with you. Mm-hmm. And to me, it really is a fundamental truth issue, meaning that, yeah, you're trying to force me to say something I don't want to say. Mm-hmm. But to me, the fact that what you're trying to force me to say is so innately opposed to the good is the problem. Like you could try. I would have objections to you forcing me to say that I like a particular movie, right? Mm-hmm. It may not be true. I don't like the particular movie. It would be bad if you tried to force me to say that. But the level of passion that I have for issues like this one really go to the fact that I think the fundamental good of humanity relies on basic acknowledgments of biological truth, especially when it comes to gender.
Within months of this conversation,
Fucking
in
idiot.
2022, Shapiro would sign Peterson to his media company. There, show hosts had already voiced a particular view of conversion therapy bans based not on their expertise in counseling or psychology, but upon their religious views.
So, Matt, you were the first person I saw tweet out this new Canada law, the actual text of this new law in Canada, which effectively bans both religion and reason in the country.
Yes.
I mean, it is a bill that is just mad.
It is a fall of the West bill.
It is a stark, raving, mad bill encoded into law and punishable by 5 years in prison. If you use your brain or you worship God or both, then you are going to end up in prison in Canada for being a baseline decent parent.
That is, like, these people are just unhinged.
If you encourage your son, let's say, to embrace his biological identity, if you say to your son, you are a boy and that's good, and you're a male and that's what you should be, that's conversion by telling him to be who he is. That's conversion therapy, and you can go to prison for it. And it also means that, as many pastors in Canada have realized, that if they get up there at the pulpit, and very few pastors are even doing this anyway, but if they did get up there at the pulpit and read from the Pauline epistles or give a sermon about biblical sexual morality, they are guilty of conversion therapy and could go to prison.
This is being described as an issue of religious liberty. And of course, to a degree, it is about religious liberty. They just outlawed Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But it's deeper than just religious liberty. They've outlawed the truth. They've outlawed the truth. If you tell your kid the truth about who he is, you'll go to prison.
It's clear here that these guys do not at all understand the bill, its actual prohibitions, or its scope. No, you can't get arrested for preaching against queerness in church or to your child in Canada. You can get in trouble for putting them in a program specifically meant to change their sexual orientation and gender identity. Even before this conversation, the far-right religious think tank, the Heritage Foundation, published an article on the issue claiming a conversion therapy ban in Utah in 2020 enforced an LGBT activist agenda of mandating immediate and unquestioning affirmation of a child's stated gender identity. The ban, according to them, was not targeted at particular practices, but instead...
Cat Dad Donatillers, parrot confused. That's a good parrot. Thanks for the donation, Cat Dad.
At particular values. Sound familiar? As conservative media spread this view of the issue, certain Christians in the US and Canada took to social media to voice panicked views on how Bill C-4 would ban Christianity in Canada. Before Peterson completely left his work as a clinician and scholar, the world he would enter into next, that of the religious right, already held this view of conversion therapy and its bans. It seems a part of his actual training as a psychologist still shapes his view.
It's not a disease, first of all, and so it doesn't need a cure, and probably you can't do that anyways.
But the rest of his perspective echoes that of his peers and employers on the religious right, even when that drives him to make statements which contradict his own stated values. Since Peterson doesn't originally come from this world, I suspect that the religious right sees him as a source of scientific or scholarly validation of their views, even though his views on this subject are now seemingly sourced from lay people inside this group rather than from any scholarly perspective. Peterson and his audience appear to be caught in a cycle of mutual validation, where facts get thrown out in favor of in-group affirming rhetoric. It's a bit ironic, wouldn't you say? Thanks for watching. It's not...
Well, Jordan Peterson's a retard, but we already knew that. All right, let's see.
Would it hold up in court? No. Carnitine, taurine, tyrosine, carnosine, creatine, B12, DHA, EPA. Is this a nutrition argument debate, or is this an ethical debate? Sorry.
A bit of both, really, because you've got to weigh it up.
Okay, we're going to be just talking about a video by me, where I was looking at a video by Hench Herbivore. I think it came out about 9 months ago, might be wrong. Basically, it's a critical analysis of his video. I said, I can't remember what I said at this point. But, Jake kindly invited me to have a discussion with him just to debate each point. I'm guessing the proposition of the debate is whatever I said in that video against what Hench Herbivore said, and you can back up, substantiate his claims however you want. Any evidence you have, you can feel free to share on the screen. There's a present button. So we all have access to the same buttons and things. I'll obviously just chuck it on the screen when it's all good and done. Anyway, what's the first point of the video that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so first of all, mate, obviously I've come across this video. I've learned little bits from Hench myself, and obviously I've been watching him. And it just took me by surprise, actually, because obviously someone I trust in, along with many other people. I've listened to what he said. I came across your video, and a couple of points I just wanted to ask you about, really.
I'm debating this guy tomorrow morning at 8.
And also beyond that, I wanted to ask, I'm not a nutritionist, so I wanted to put forward a few things for you to maybe answer and give your opinion on, as a vegan advocate.
I saw Lenny filming his mom in the hospice. Whatever. It's not that interesting.
I'm a little bit confused as to why the carnivore thing exists. You're probably the opposite, which I'm guessing, and that's fine. So later on, mate, I'd be happy if you'd be happy just to let me say a few things and see what you've got to say. But yeah, first of all, mate, what is it about Hench Herbivore that you disagree with? I could word it as, what is it about a whole food plant-based diet that
it was live.
Don't agree with? Before I met the point.
That's a fair question, yeah. So my background comes from working in a vegan health food shop, notably the best one in the south of England when I was there about 4 years ago. I wasn't vegan myself when I was there, but most of the staff members were vegan or plant-based or somewhere along that sort of spectrum of way of eating. When I was there, I was omnivorous. This is actually about 5 years ago I was working there. I've been carnivore for 4.5 years now. I've met countless people with, I don't make ad hominems, but they don't look well. Typical visual signs of anemia. And this was in spite of...
Yes, because I don't look well, right? I don't know. I think I look pretty damn good for 33. Nice, smooth, clear skin. Vibrant glow. Luscious beard. Where the fuck do people get the idea that most vegans don't look well? Most vegans I've met look pretty goddamn good, especially like when you consider their age. Like I know some vegans who are in their like 40s, 50s, 60s, and they look really fucking good for their age. And on top of that, like, who fucking cares? If you look at the data, vegans live longer. Like, looks are just entirely subjective. If you're living longer, you have lower risk of chronic disease. I think that's the metric we should care about most.
Of supplemental vitamin B12, iron, all the cofactors, folate, all the things that, they say, oh, if you have a well-formulated vegan diet with this, that, and the other, it all works well. But the reality is these guys' blood tests were not good. Inflammation was always sky high. I did notice that sometimes there is a bit of disparity between...
Sorry, inflammation was sky high? He wasn't working in a health clinic. How does he know anybody's inflammation was high if he didn't look at their, blood tests?
A whole food plant-based diet and a typical vegan diet, especially among young people. Young people were typically involved in the vegan chocolate bars, the processed foods. Many of them were obese when I was in university. I did go to the most diverse university in the country, which is Bath Spa. Also has a high proportion of poverty and veganism, plant-based advocates. It's not Bristol, despite people saying it's not Brighton, despite people say it's Bath Spa. I've never seen so much mental health issues in my life, and this coming from someone that is observing. So many times I was in first year, and along the front.
So basically, trust me, bro, is his argument.
Row of flats, blocks that people live in the dorms. Many young ladies there, it's fashionable to be vegan, vegetarian. Some obviously could sustain it for a bit of time, some couldn't. I witnessed personally about 40 to 50 ambulances go by these houses, these blocks, each month. Everyone, or almost everyone, a lot of people that lived along there were depressed. So typically young women, some young men, going out, suicidal, doing things to their wrists and, lots of nasty stuff that we just want to see. Fellow humans don't want to see that. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant for them, and it's not a good sign. Then fast forward a bit, working at a vegan health food shop, I was seeing everyone there was getting iller and iller and iller. And some people there were spending £200 plus on supplements per month and still coming back to me deficient. I was staying in after work sometimes on a 50-hour work week, which I wasn't paid additional for. I was on, I believe, 18 grand per year, something like that, which is pants. And I was staying on for half an hour to an hour extra, some days, not every day, just to help people with consultations, try and work out what the problem was. One of the first questions I asked is, what do you eat? Do you eat beef, the richest source in iron? No. or liver? No. Fish, salmon, eggs? No. None of this. No. I just eat plant-based. I take a multivitamin.
You know that it's a good thing that I didn't go to my work's faculty/staff express clinic to see what my cold/flu-like symptoms were caused by, since one of my co-workers told me that she went there and they told her that it was seasonal allergies and was charged $600.
That's insane. $600 fucking dollars? Well, thanks for the donation, Ben. That sounds like a fucking scam.
Vitamin. I've got a big thing against the multivitamins because I just see loads of people come back with deficiencies from here on out. And since
I have never been deficient in any vitamin or mineral in my entire life. Kaylin D donated $2. A natural, not vegan, saying militant vegans are damaging for veganism. She's not even fucking vegan, so. Her new video is saying that we shouldn't do these types of activism. She literally does negative vegan activism. She encourages people to eat meat and animal products. So who's she to say? And her whole comment section screams almost like Carnus. Her comment section is all Carnus. Very few vegans watch her YouTube channel. Her channel is dedicated to appealing to Carnus. She's kind of like Jimmy Dore, or what Tim Pool used to be, where, you know, Jimmy Dore is, you know, says he's a lefty, he's left wing, but oh, so much of the left wing is like corrupt and stupid. I'm just like, you know, informed lefty, when he's really just right wing. Same with her. She's doing that same grift where it's like, I'm vegan, but I realize most vegans are insane. It's just a grift for Carnus. I'm wondering, is she vegan actually? No, she's not. She is admitted to feeding her cats meat. She said that it's morally acceptable to eat animal products. There's nothing wrong with it. She's advocated for the consumption of leather, saying that, oh, well, leather lasts longer and it's more environmentally friendly, so it's vegan to buy leather. She's not vegan. Thanks for the donation, Callion. Karen donated $2. Please play
Julian Ryder.
Fuck you. Karen, please play Wukong right now, or I'm telling Jasmine, and would you ever play this game? Let me see. No. There's gross babies in it. Maybe we'll play in a little bit, okay? Thanks for the donation, Karen.
In a carnivore, working in the carnivore community now as like a nutrition coach. I am an actual nutritionist, and if anyone's wondering, I did do my degree in nutrition. I do have.
Nutrition degree means absolutely nothing. There are 1,000,001 courses you can take on nutrition. They're not accredited colleges or university, and it's meaningless. Unless you're like a dietitian or something, claiming you're a nutritionist is just bullshit. Okay, we're downloading Black Myth Wukong.
I have qualifications in medical science, herbal science, supplemental science, sports science, and a load of things which probably mean something, but not a lot in the grand scheme of things. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a world expert by any means, but I know a bit about nutrition. And since that time, I've also come across lots of influencers online, and I've never met so many ex-vegans in my life. I've met people that have done stints of it. My brother, for example, he wasn't vegan. He did 4 years of vegetarianism, and then he didn't feel so good. And a lot of my coaching clients right now are ex-vegans, and they're all lovely people because they're thriving now. They're on a more mixed animal foods diet, and they seem to be doing really well. Some people are experiencing some ill effects.
Cool story. So basically, you're proving you know nothing about nutrition and you don't know how to get somebody to follow a properly balanced plant-based diet.
Just take time to heal. Leaky gut, intestinal permeability, when you've got autoimmune disease, takes a long, long time to heal. Check out my site at compositionconsultant.com. Your journey to peak performance and optimal health. The way of eating is a broad spectrum. I'd say, largely speaking, if people are eating something like 70 to 80% meat in the diet plus, that's good enough for me. They'll probably get most of the results in terms of their health journey from there on out. That's my main thing against the vegan plant-based movement, if it were. So I've got a lot of anecdote, a bit of science, if you want me to extrapolate and put the mechanisms together and explain any biochemistry I can. I don't want to just sit here and just say, I'm right, you're wrong. You know, I'll listen to you as well and see what you've got to say. Maybe I've missed something, but yeah, that's my stance on it.
No, I hope you understand my confusion, because obviously I've got a vegan business. I've been vegan for 6 years plant-based, 5 years vegan. I've met hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 vegans come in the shop talking. I've met loads of people online. I know 50-year-old vegans, 80-year-old vegans, usually 5 to 10-year vegans with no problems at all. And I've even gone out there and tried to look for deficiencies and said, look, has anyone actually got a deficiency here? Because I'm hearing so much about B12, iron, all these different things.
Is prescriptivism / linguistic realism a conservative attitude? I don't know what those things are.
And I've never come across anyone with a problem. So obviously, I hope you can understand my confusion when people make these claims. So before I talk about nutrition, when you said people, you saw people slitting the wrists and things like that, you're obviously aware that there's a massive depression epidemic going on.
For sure, yeah. Not the proportion I was experiencing at university. It was about fourfold.
And what makes you say that everyone who was suicidal had a plant-based diet?
Because the highest proportion of people that were vegan or vegetarian were, in my experience, vegan or they were plant-based. Most people were plant-based when I went to university. I was the only. I wouldn't say I was carnivorous back in university by any means, but I was probably 50% animal foods. I was the only person there that ate mostly meat. The rest of them, if you asked them, they'd feel guilty for saying yes, and they'd feel like a debt to society and the earth. They lived in misery and hated themselves because they couldn't rationalise it. So,
well, I'm sure you're aware that obviously a bad diet is a bad diet, and deficiencies cause mental illnesses, particularly B12 and things like that. So, would you say that you're just against bad diets? You're just not against a whole food plant-based diet, which is full of vitamins and minerals? Would you just say that this is because of deficiencies, or would you say that every well-planned, vegan diet is sufficient?
I think there's a number of mechanistic issues with even a well-planned vegan diet. We see if it's well-planned, it must have essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids, what do we get them from in a plant-based kingdom? Algae oil. Most of them are rancid. Most of them are oxidized. Most of them
That is not true.
Can cause mitochondrial dysfunction. They're also really, really expensive. Now, obviously, omega-3,
They are no more expensive than a good fish oil supplement.
6 are essential fatty acids. If we don't have them, we cannot thrive. To which point people will say, but flaxseed, if you're lucky, you have the genetic polymorphism needed to break down that fat.
So, your body converts ALA into EPA and DHA, and omega-6 fats are, you can get them anywhere. If you're eating any food that contains fat, you're getting enough omega-6. Fat requirements are extremely low. Surprisingly, shockingly low. You do not need, in terms of like supporting your life, that much fat in your diet. There's practically nobody who is going to end up dying from some sort of deficiency in essential fats. The only people who do are like anorexics or people who are just like eating protein powder. Like, that's it. Flotus donated $2. Let me see. Wow. Wow, chinchillas are fast. Oh my god. Whoa. That cat is like Spider-Man. That's a spider cat. That's a good fucking cat. Oh my god. So orange. Oh my god. Wow. Look at him. He's having a little nap. So cozy. Oh my god, that's a cozy kitty. Jesus fucking Christ. my god, it's a little groundhog. Or prairie dog, I mean. That's a good prairie dog. Oh my goodness. Diet ruined. Bro.
Crusted enoki mushrooms topped with coleslaw and pickles with just the right amount of mayo with a side of crunchy purple sweet potato fries.
Dude, if you were to put that in front of me right now, I'd be like, fuck it, I'm eating it. That looks so goddamn good, dude. Whatever. I am going to go out to eat for Jasmine's birthday. And on September 7th, there's the Toronto Vegan Food Fest thing. So I'm going to go to that and eat whatever I want, but otherwise, sticking to my diet. Damn, that looks fucking good, dude.
This meal was an absolute dream. If you would have told me 7 years ago that vegans explore mushrooms in this way, I would have never believed that the texture of mushrooms resembled anything that I used to eat, but it does. From the way it pulls to the bite you get out of it, it's an experience that's hard to describe. I coated the enokis in spices and buttermilk and fried them until they were golden and crispy. I tossed them in a sweet and spicy chili sauce. This meal was so satisfying. Chili.
Goddamn, dude. Deep fried mushrooms are just god tier.
30 seconds, I'm gonna show you how I eat as a vegan. And I won't be showing you grass. And although we love salads, I won't be showing you salads. I've been making plant-based food for 7 years now, and let me tell you, it's been far from boring. From bus-up shut, soft, pillowy rotis, to fried dumplings and ackee, salted jackfruit and steamed cabbage. Let me tell you that I have been missing out on absolutely nothing. I'm getting all my protein from plants without the need of processed foods, and you can follow along so I can help you to add.
That shit looks fucking good. Shit. I'm gonna follow this guy's page. Does he have a YouTube channel? That food looks so fucking good, dude. Dude, what is this?
Chunky and cheesy pizza brought me pure joy, but it's not an oxtail pizza. It's a jackfruit pizza. Young green jackfruit to be exact, because it has a meat-like texture and it's incredible at absorbing flavor. So I brown stewed this jackfruit until it was nice and tender, and then I got my pizza dough going with a rich and creamy cheese sauce. Tender jackfruit goes on top, pizza goes into the oven, out of the oven it comes looking beautiful. Tell me that you would not have a slice of this pizza.
This shit like messes with my head because I look pretty good now. You know, I'm not fat or anything, not chubby. I'm just look lean enough. And then I'm like, okay, I want this. So I'll stick to my diet though, but this looks fucking good. Holy shit, dude. Bro, when I win the lottery, I'm just gonna get a personal chef to make me this shit. Like, fuck, dude. It's so good. Alright, well, thanks for the donation, Flotus. Doodle Bob donated $2.
You keep turning my seat warmer off.
Why do you keep turning it on? That's a seat warmer. It warms the seat.
Okay.
Okay, well, you should not put a seat warmer on. But what we're not going to do is fry fish up in this motherfucker. Yeah. People.
Okay, thank you for that, Doodle Bob.
When I went vegan, your videos helped me out so much. I learned more on how to put food into mouth. Also, what is your fav greens? And a scale of 1 Jew, how jacked are you? 10 would be Jew and 10 is also most jacked P.
I would say I'm Jew out of 10. And, favorite vegetable would have to be broccoli. Broccoli just tastes good raw to me. I really like raw broccoli, and when you cook it in, like, some sort of Asian stir-fry sauce, it's just fucking amazing. Fucking love broccoli. Also, broccoli tempura tastes really good. If you, like, batter broccoli and deep fry it, that's also pretty dope. Thanks for the donation, though, Andy.
And turn it into active omega-3 of any kind. And that isn't ALA, which is probably the least important omega-3 that we do need. So we obviously need EPA and DHA. We'll find that 1 or 2% of the omega-3 fatty acids that we can take in is absorbed, and that's at best if we have the right ancestral genetic heritage in order to break that down. So, for example, if someone lived in the Arctic Circle forever, for 10,000 years, 100,000 years, a million years, whatever, and they're not going to have that polymorphism because they're not going to be munching down flax seeds. So there's no way they can inherit the gene in order to subside with essential fatty acids. The other ones, carnitine, taurine, tyrosine, carnosine, creatine, B12.
So, aside from B12, all the amino acids he mentioned are not essential.
DHA, EPA. They're the ones that, magnesium even. Then there's a leaky gut side of it, so intestinal permeability. Fiber is contraindicated. To which point people say, yeah, but these studies, I read this meta-analysis, they're not controlled studies at all. They extrapolated, they're based on guesswork, which is,
That is not true. The only difference between a randomized trial and a prospective cohort is randomization, but essentially it's the same basic model. You're just looking at whether or not an exposure is related to certain outcomes.
We looked at these rats of people, looked at their diet. Oh, they happen to have a lot of fiber in their diet, a bit more than those people. Well, healthy is a bias. Obviously, a person who's eating, salad and grapefruit and apples and things is going to be a lot healthier than someone who's drinking.
No shit.
We're eating the blended version without all the micronutrients in full tact. Then, of course, we've got the nuts and seeds. Most nuts and seeds are poisonous unless we do something to them. In fact, 99.9% of
Who cares?
the vegetation on this planet is poisonous to us if we don't prepare it.
That is not true. Most edible plants are not poisonous.
The right way. So I think it is possible to do a plant-based diet of some kind with the right supplements, with the right procurement of foods, with the right processing, fermentation, cooking methods. But I just can't see it as something I'd ever recommend because it doesn't fulfill the hierarchy of needs, being the essential fatty acids, the protein. And then people say, oh, the protein is equated. It's 70 grams in the US and 70 grams for, I believe it's 72 grams for vegetarian diets or Western diets and 70 grams of protein per day for the vegan or vegetarian. I can't remember which one, but the numbers are out there somewhere. It came out within the last 10 years. So they did a study of what people were eating. Probably it's the DS score. So the digestibility amino acid score of these amino acids that come from these vegetable proteins. Even when you mix them up and they say pair protein from peanut butter with
The DIAS scoring system is just an arbitrary amino acid scoring system. If you look at actual outcome data, there's no difference between plant and animal sources of protein.
this with that, you're still deficient in over 15 micronutrients. So no matter how much you put in more and more and more, say something's a bit higher in leucine, something's a bit higher in carnitine.
This is the thing, mate. Like, obviously, I'm well aware of all these things that you just mentioned, and again, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it all. I've spent years looking at the other side. I didn't just go, oh, vegan, let's do it. Do you know what I mean? I looked into it. I've listened to a lot of things from both sides, and obviously made my mind up. I do agree that with omegas and things like that, and fatty fish and fatty acids, I do believe that the best diet on earth is pescatarian. I don't eat fish myself simply because I wouldn't kill a fish, and I never have killed a fish. So I'm just being obviously consistent with.
There's not really much evidence that a pescatarian diet is ideal. The only study that I know of where fish eaters did better than vegans was the Adventist Health Study 2, but that was only in both the male and female cohort. When you look at the male cohort specifically, vegan men did better than the pescatarian men.
With my morals, I do take an omega-3 probably literally once every 2 months. Number one, because I always forget, and number two, I don't know. I just every time I take supplements, I kind of get dizzy. When I get up, I get a little bit dizzy. I don't go dizzy in general. It's just when I take supplements, I seem to go a little bit lightheaded, so I just don't take them. Same with B12. I take one every 3, 4, 5 weeks. I just don't take them. And this is the same with everyone I spoke to. No one's kind of religious with their supplementation. Not anyone that I've spoke to anyway. They just say, yeah, I'll take the odd one here and there. And this includes all vegans that have been vegan for 40 years, newish vegans, and I still haven't come across any problems. So my question is, you've mentioned things like taurine, you mentioned things like B12, all these different things that we can't get. And from the research I've done, I've come to understand that things like taurine, creatine, all these little bits and bobs, they get synthesized by the body. And although there are
Recipe Canes, Donatello's, damn, this looks so good.
Tofu banh mi. I got a lot of requests for this one after I asked y'all what I should make from the Taste Atlas's list of best sandwiches in the world. So we're going to marinate and grill up some tofu 2 ways. We might even fry it too. And then we're going to cook down some mushrooms and onions and then blitz them up into a pate. Of course, we got to make some pickled carrots and radish, and then we're going to get our roll, give it a smear of the pate, our tofu, some jalapenos, cucumber, the pickled veggies, cilantro, and maybe some sriracha, and I can see why this is the #1 sandwich in the world. It's pretty dang perfect. Yeah!
Oh, that does look good. Son of a bitch. Alright, so today we're going to be making my lentil loaf recipe, and the ingredients you will need will be some garlic. That lentil loaf recipe was actually really good. Apple chunk. Don't really have to cook it all, so be paste that looks sort of like vomit. Going to 5 minutes. There we are. And now we have a nice, warm, steamy lentil loaf. And then you just cut that up and eat it. That's how you do it. You eat that after. There we are. Oh, that's gonna taste good. Very hot. This was 4 years ago. I don't really look any different after 4 years. Awesome recipe. Really tastes good. Not many. Yeah, that was a good recipe. Kind of just want to scoop this up and eat it.
Ew! What the hell's wrong with you? This is incredibly hard to film because of how you're standing.
Yeah, I remember I made corn dogs with the Beyond sausages. Those were fucking good. At about now. Look at him. Okay, so these are done.
So paper.
Can probably finish, but I had to cook these up today anyway, or else I would have had to throw the sausages out. But these do taste great. Highly recommend you try to make. Yeah, those corn dogs I made are fucking great. I remember when Doomies used to
Water bottles and you're covered in horse food.
Yeah, Doomies used to be in Toronto. Fucking sushi. Goddamn. That is some good shit, dude. Thanks for the donation, Recipe Games.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black, Joe Biden.
Well, that is true. Thanks for the donation, Andy.
You sound well rested. What happened to Andrew Tate? Is Frankie still on radio silence?
I'd say I got enough sleep last night. Let me see. Frank Tufano. It appears as though he has no new videos uploaded. It's been 9 days. Well, I guess he's just having personal problems. Andrew Tate got charged with more crimes relating to child sexual abuse. They're accusing him of having sex with underage minors and also sex trafficking underage girls. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam.
You know, a lot less. How can I put it? There's less of them in plants, obviously, than say if I was going to eat a steak or a chicken breast. So even though they're lower, what does that actually mean? Because, like I say, my blood tests are fine. Everyone I speak to are fine. I'm trying to understand that if this is true with all these little things that vegans can't get, why is no one running into trouble? And why is everyone's blood results okay? Because I'm just genuinely being curious there.
You've got a good question there, and I can kind of extrapolate from that in my experience from the side of the carnivore. Your kind of point here is anecdotally, from what you see, there's no evidence to suggest the claim that a vegan diet is well planned with occasional supplementation is sufficient enough to keep someone in good stead health-wise for several months, years at a time. And people have been doing it for a long time. Fair enough. I can't dispute your anecdote. It's your anecdote. Would it hold up in court? No. Would my anecdote hold up in court? No. However, there is a.
So he's admitting it's just trust me, bro.
It still wouldn't hold up in court.
Why is that?
Rom.
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate the donation, 9014.
Because there's no controls to the study whatsoever. So all I would do in juxtaposition to that would be to say, okay, if we look at the epidemiology, we look at perhaps, I don't like epidemiology, I think it's a crap, Jake, so I won't even look at that. I'd say if you look at the highest proportion or incidence, keyword incidence, of people with neurological disorders, and you compare standard Western diet to the vegan diet, neurological disorders much higher, to the nth degree. So
Where's the evidence that vegans suffer from higher number of neurological disorders?
It's to a point where it's not just by chance, you've got 100 people and 51 said that yes and 49 said yes. It's several times over. I don't have the exact number. I could probably put it up if you want me to. Or I could link it below in the description if people are really like, oh, you haven't backed it up. But it seems common knowledge to me at least that neurological disorders, mental health problems are much higher in vegans than even Western dieters and
They're not. There's only like 2 studies, and I think they're out of Germany, and there was like 3 vegans in each fucking study. There's no evidence that vegans suffer from higher rates of mental health disorders.
Carnivore dieters. I say carnivore dieters.
By the way, neurological disorder is different than mental health disorder.
There's no real hard study, so it's my guess. So it's not hard science there. The other point would be, just trying to look at it already. There is such a thing in the carnivore community where people say, shouldn't you have scurvy? Shouldn't you be deficient in fiber? Your gut microbiome, you don't have enough fiber to produce short-chain fatty acids to feed colonocytes in the gut, therefore you should be dead. All this sort of stuff, because we need a gut microbiome, it goes without saying. I've never met anyone with scurvy, so it's kind of the same thing as you, yet.
That's just selection bias. There's plenty of reasons why he may never have met somebody on the carnivore diet who got scurvy. One reason would be because they're eating certain organs like thalamus glands or brains. Another explanation would be they're not technically following a pure carnivore diet and they're using spices on their food. Another explanation might be that they're just eating things like potatoes that are high in vitamin C occasionally, and that's enough to prevent scurvy. So
if you look at nutritional values on our diets, you go onto the most basic app, nutrition tracking app, it'll say, my diet has 0 milligrams of vitamin C in it, and I probably need, my personal estimate based on what I've read, which is, there's not a lot of science, it's somewhere between 5 and 10 milligrams per day. More carbohydrates we need, the more vitamin C we need. I'm sure you're in it already.
Have a good night, Aaron.
Glycation and improve the antioxidant status of the body. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Whilst I respect your anecdote, I don't think there's any science on it, so it's more hearsay, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, mate, to be honest, because there's all these governmental bodies, these health nutritional bodies that are backing it and saying, it's fine. But what is? I just don't understand. Obviously, we can go back and forth all day and go, yeah, it's good, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's good, no, it's not. But it's all the scientific evidence that I've come across and all the vegan people have come across and all these vegan physicians have come across points towards plants being a plant-heavy diet being optimal. Yes, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, if you eat meat, you're going to.
Yep, people who eat more plants live longer.
Do you recommend taking 2-week breaks from creatine every 6 weeks?
No. There is no evidence that taking creatine long-term causes any health problems. No evidence that taking breaks prevents any health problems or improves the efficacy of creatine, so there's no point in ever stopping taking creatine. Thanks for the donation, though, GM Flash MX.
What did Hallow Good do to get a banning order?
He's just very stupid and annoying. He posts dumb shit in the chat a lot, and he's actually debated me in Discord before, and he's, like, genuinely fucking retarded. He might have, like, a sub 80 IQ or something. Or he could just be insane. I don't know. Sometimes when you're so crazy, you seem stupid. But, yeah, basically he's just very dumb and annoying. Thanks for the donation, Sam. Hunter Toby donated $2. Dan and Destiny are taking callers on their podcast. If you want to run Name the Trade on Danny's tried arguing against veganism destroy to Destiny in the past, and he is a huge cat lover. How do I get into their thing?
But then if I guess and I'm wrong, then I've fucked myself.
Yep.
I'll guess. I'm ready. Fuck it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm going to say egg, streak, mirror, and toilet paper.
And what's your logic for this?
I don't know.
Because you're saying globe, moon, sun, and post. I would assume...
I don't know for this, but like you can break an egg, you can like crack a mirror, you can break your streak, and then something about being on a roll and toilet paper. I don't know. I don't know the last one. Something a post? You ruin your post? I don't know. That's my guess. I'm not sure.
I do not agree with this.
Oh, you're not co-signing?
No.
Oh, good luck. Now I've given you a hint.
You've lost a point, so you're down to half a point, and I have 1.5. You can still make it up.
Yeah, how do you call in?
Well, I guess one more. Fuck it.
Okay.
Egg, mirror, streak, post.
This?
I guess.
I don't sign on.
Good. Fuck you.
I don't see anything in Destiny's
You're down.
Discord
Oh my
for
I'm
call-ins.
fucked. It's over, Dan. I get it.
Okay, I don't know what it could be, but I'm going to guess. So your initial one was this, and you were one off. Okay? So to me, that makes me think that it... And you did you just do this? Or did you not just do this?
I don't know. You should have remembered, Dan.
I think that it has to be this. All these things seem round. Okay?
It's absolutely not that. Impossible. What an impossibly stupid guess. There's 0% chance that this is right. You should be ashamed of even registering this as a guess.
Fuck. It doesn't say how many off I am? Okay. So what am I at? You're negative 2.5. I'm 1, I think. What the fuck could this be? Okay.
They're saying it's a Patreon link.
Oh! What? Wait!
I know what it is.
I think...
Fuck.
I think this. Halloween shit.
Egg? You can egg?
Egg houses? Toilet paper houses?
Yeah, they're
Moon's
saying
out?
it's a Patreon link. I'm not going to bother paying.
Get fucking cancer. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and say that, but I'm here to kind of defend. At the end of the day, I cook food and I coach people and I push the vegan message. And if there was any reason for me not to do that, obviously I wouldn't do it. Obviously, because but there's just nothing there for me to see and say, well, I shouldn't really be doing that because of B12 and and all that. But if I flip that around and I say to you, okay, as a carnivore,
if you go back
am I right in
10-ish
saying it's
minutes,
just
you can
completely
see.
carnivore? And that's
Yeah,
what
so that's what
Post.
I'm being caught. I don't know.
I go with 3 or 4. Best start.
No, there's 3. There's
live stream,
MS, MRS, and MIS.
You're thinking of MZ for Ms.
No, I'm not. This is none of that new age fucking weird shit. No. Here, look. I will show you.
It's MISSUS. MRS is short for.
Oh, it's so you have to get a link to the Discord through their Patreon. It's the anything else Discord, but it's like I think it's blocked unless you donate to their Patreon.
As a nutritionist, someone that people come to because they trust. The people that come to me that trust me typically are carnivores, animal-based whale eaters. If someone wants to have some berries and they tolerate them, I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to poop on your parade. If you enjoy them and it gives you a better sense of well-being, it doesn't harm you. You can go about your day the next day, feel great, go at it. I just think there's a slight limit, and I have to say, preface. If I was dealing out someone a dietary intervention, if for me I take it so seriously, like yourself, if someone comes to me and they say, I want the best of the best, I want the best doctor, I want to get the best surgery, I'm going to give them the best option that I have on hand. So someone says, right, just get, I'm not in good shape, I don't feel well, put them in the best diet you can work out. So that'll be a transitional period, then the carnivore diet, or some variation of it, which gets them from point A to B. So it's more, for both of us, it sounds like our dietary approach is ethical based on best practice. It's just drawing that line definition of what best practice is. I'd still argue, based on the N15 isotope data, which you may know about, it's a carnivorous diet.
What would you say about the studies that show heart disease and cardiovascular disease are linked to high cholesterol, high LDL? What do you make of the scientists that won't do studies on it because they say it's too dangerous? How can you be so sure of something that has got no long-term data?
The conflict of interest, sure. Yeah. So the conflict of interest of these studies is very long. Very, 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 very long in a lot of cases. Now, you will...
That is not a refutation of any research. It doesn't matter if there's conflicts of interest. What matters is whether or not the study was done appropriately.
You will be able to go online right now and find a study which has no conflicts of interest, which is research, which is a very narrow view on a mouse or a rodent study. You will not find a study which pinpoints exactly that heart disease is causal from a meat-based heavy diet containing...
Yes, you will. The nail is in the coffin. LDL is causal in heart disease risk. Among all methods of cholesterol lowering, lowering cholesterol reduces heart disease risk, and the efficacy to which a treatment reduces heart disease risk is based on the degree to which it lowers cholesterol.
Exogenous cholesterol that your body doesn't synthesize itself. Those studies do not exist, unfortunately, because there's no intervention needed, there's no controls, it's not an experiment. Now, if we look at the...
That is not true. There's plenty of randomized trials on cholesterol lowering.
These researchers, who I've actually met most of them, I met most of these people. They're not most literate of people. They do pull at strings a bit. They do pull at studies which have been debunked very heavily. As in, you type in that study, type it into Google, type it into ChatGPT for hell's sake. What are the drawbacks of this study? Even ChatGPT does it better than most professors in university labs, talking about different experiments which they cannot be able to hold. Right as well, there's an ethical argument against doing something when the standard practice has always been to focus more on reducing lipid values, or at least getting them in the right lane, right amounts. I actually went to a public health collaboration conference in the UK about 2 months ago, roughly, and I met one of the world's leading, apparently, experts on, I believe it was cholesterol and how it affects lipid values and how it can cause atherosclerotic plaque. His open argument, so his blockbuster argument for his talk was, oh guys, look at this big tub of mayonnaise, kind of yellow, kind of white. That's what cholesterol's doing to your organs and your heart and your arteries. That was it. That was this grand opening for his scientific argument.
So again, this is another trust me bro story.
And we then stayed for a bit longer, and he made absolutely no sense at all. He's just pulling apart all these like epidemiological studies without any mechanism of action. And what you'll find with a lot of these studies is there's like a bell curve. There's always going to be people outliers on either side. So there's going to be someone out there, no matter what you do, no matter what diet you put them on, their cholesterol is always going to be like a billion, or a few hundred, whatever.
Yes, and those are genetic outliers. They have familial hypercholesterolemia, and especially if you're homozygous for familial hypercholesterolemia, you're going to have extremely high LDL levels, regardless of what diet you're on. That's why these people need to be put on statins and cholesterol-lowering medications.
There's always be outliers. So there's no hard science on cholesterol, no hard science on the lipid hypothesis. People in the carnivore community even talk about.
So, okay, I've got a good sense of how the debate with this guy is going to go. He just plain and simple does not know what the fuck he's talking about.
Like they feel like they're always murdering each other, except for like kitties when they're kind of like, it's different, but I don't know, man. Cats I feel like it's so much harder. I think they're just autistic. It's so much harder to tell with a cat.
The Tiger King was filmed over 5 years and follows the life of Joe Exotic, born Joseph Streibvogel, a gay...
But it's hard to... Hey, yeah, real simply, I support Biden over, I guess I would say I support Kamala. I support the Kamala ticket over Trump because I don't think Trump was able to get anything done. Even if I supported Trump's policies, I think that he was an ineffective leader. I think he's constantly and doesn't take responsibility.
Stephen, we will kick it over to Joe Exotic. Thanks for...
Okay, maybe we should... How long was that debate with Modern Day Debate? Okay, that's not very long.
Thrilled to have you here, Joe Exotic. We are going to kick it over to Destiny for his opening statement. Thanks for being with us. The floor is all yours, Stephen, for that opening statement.
Hey, yeah, real simply, I support Biden over, I guess I would say I support Kamala. I support the Kamala ticket over Trump because I don't think Trump was able to get anything done. Even if I supported Trump's policies, I think that he was an ineffective leader. I think he's a bad business guy. He wasn't able to do any of the things that he promised he could deliver on. And under the Biden-Kamala administration, they've delivered on things that Trump literally said he would deliver on. They got an infrastructure bill passed. They've done a better job at kind of like uniting Americans and working in Congress to pass legislation. And they've had way more accountability for their decisions than Trump, who is a loser and blames everybody else for his problems all the time, constantly, and doesn't take responsibility or accountability for anything.
Thank you very much for that opening, Stephen. We will kick it over to Joe Exotic. Thanks for being with us, Tiger King. The floor is all yours for your 2-minute opening as well.
Well, if anybody knows me, I hate politics, period, because they're all fucking liars. So, unfortunately, I'm supporting Trump right now because Biden and Harris has had the same as Trump had. They've been in there almost 4 years now, and they've done nothing to help people be able to pay rent, pay groceries, pay gas prices. All they want to do is lie. Okay, now Harris is for fracking. For the last 4 years, we've done nothing but what EV sales, put in chargers, spend billions of dollars doing that. We're not drilling to produce our own oil and sustain our own country. With
Where in the hell did he get that idea?
For what, a climate deal? And now Biden is putting windmills out in the ocean, which is our most
Thanks for the gifted membership, Chris. Appreciate it.
fragile ecosystem on the planet. And then him and Harris are given 10, 20-year leases to the animal rights and the tree huggers for BLM land. So now the forests are not going to be harvested right. Your cattle ranchers aren't going to be able to use BLM land for grazing and raising agriculture. So nothing really makes sense, not to mention neither one of them give a damn about what's going on at the border. And it's not just the southern border. We just had, 1 million fentanyl pills caught at the Canadian border. But the only one that people want to complain about is the southern border because that's where the Mexicans are all coming in. But, you know, when we have homeless vets living on the streets and we're giving hotel rooms in New York City to immigrants that are coming into the country illegally and through Biden and Harris's policies right now, America needs to change. You know, Trump is going to keep us safe from our world enemies.
So, by the way, that argument makes absolutely no sense. In New York, you are mandated by law to give anybody shelter if they require it. So any homeless person in a state like, or a city like New York, they have to provide you shelter. It doesn't matter if you're an immigrant or an asylum seeker or a vet who can't pay his bills. So all these sanctuary cities where people are complaining there's homeless vets wandering around, but immigrants are getting free shelter. If they wanted to, they could also get free shelter as well.
All we've done under Biden and Harris is trade dangerous criminals for basketball players and ballerinas, and give away billions and billions of dollars to fight foreign wars. Not to mention $6 billion to release some more prisoners that we had of someone else's. So no, America is not safe under Harris at all. I don't think she's tough enough to stand up to Russia, China, or anyone else. And you got to think more about you got to get your head out of the abortion center, okay? Because
we got about 15 seconds left.
Everybody's going to die, all right? If we end up in World War III, and Harris is just not tough enough.
Oh my
to do it.
God!
So,
Here we go.
there you have it.
Thank you very much for that opening. We will kick it into open dialogue. Thanks, gentlemen. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, I guess I feel like the biggest issue is like Trump had 4 years and Trump just complained about everything. He said that the people that he hired didn't do well work for him. Everybody that's worked with him has said that he's, a loser. He's got a different vice president now because he doesn't like the last one. Like, I feel like when a guy is surrounded by that many people saying, I don't support this guy, it seems like he does a bad job. I feel like, why would I trust this guy for another 4 years?
Okay, well, he was in there for 4 years, but when did the Democrats give him a piece of quiet so he could do his damn job? What, they impeached him twice, and that wasn't good enough? That's just like the situation I'm in. Hell, I left and gave them my zoo, and they still came after me and indicted me with 21 charges. They indicted him with 94 charges to what? Prove a point?
That's
all crap. If you
part of being a leader.
If you want somebody to do a job, leave them in there and let them do their damn job. They're already planning. They already have blueprints of how they're going to invoke the 14th Amendment to kick him out if he wins. Let the American people decide, not the politicians in Congress decide for us. If the American people want to vote him back in and let him do his damn job. Sit in his chair and shut up.
I mean, we voted in Obama, and McConnell and the Republicans didn't let us have another liberal Supreme Court justice. So it seems like everybody in Congress does this. It's just part of being the president. It's part of working our political system. And Trump seems to be unable to work the political system. When you're the president, people are going to attack you. That's part of being the president. If anybody should understand that, you'd think it would be Donald Trump, right?
No, nobody's going to work with the political system. That's why it needs to be handed back to the people. Okay. First of all, a federal judge should be elected every 4 years. For God's sake, if the American president has to be elected every 4 years, why the hell are we giving a judge a lifetime commitment?
Well, because we don't want judges running for re-election. We don't want a judge making a decision because they're trying to win a re-election. We want the judges making decisions based on law, right?
You're not getting that either way. You're getting a judge that's making a decision whether he's a Democrat or a Republican. Okay, I'm sitting in prison, and I know this. Okay, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, everybody that got sentenced by a Democrat judge, especially sex offenders, are doing 4 years. Everybody that got sentenced by a Republican judge is doing 20 to 30 for a fucking 8-ball of meth.
Well, I mean, don't do drugs in states that are Republican, I guess. I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, different states, a lot of the elections for these people are done on your public ballots for your state elections. I mean, that's up to the people to vote for it. You can live in the state that you want. I mean, this is what you guys want when you talk about having the people decide, right? Weak federal government, strong state governments. Every state will do things a little bit differently. And regardless of how a judge sentences you, it's a jury at the end of the day of your peers that convicts you for the crime. So.
No, it's not. You don't even know your own system. It's not the jury at the end of the day that decides your system. Your sentence in a federal court.
I didn't say that it's not your sentence. I said they convict you of the crime. They convict you of the crime.
Okay. Well, the prosecutors are just as corrupt as the judges and the FBI. Okay.
Okay. Well, if they're all corrupt, why vote any day? They just don't vote. Who cares then? Why vote at all?
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
why
true. I agree. I wouldn't vote.
because whoever I vote for, you're not going to like, and you're going to do everything you can to disrupt his election, and I'm going to do everything I can to disrupt your election. So what's it matter?
True. I think if you support true freedom and giving the government back to the people, we should protest the election or just not vote or write in somebody or vote RFK.
Why the hell do you think I ran for? Why do you think I ran as a write-in candidate to take that stand? And what have you done?
Not that. Do you think people should write in if they, let's say they were going to support Trump then, because I mean, Trump's just part of the system and the FBI is all corrupt anyway. I think those people should just write in Joe Exotic instead. Should all write your name in. We should all vote for you.
Hey, that's the whole reason I've been campaigning for the last 2 years.
Okay. I get behind that.
Yeah, because it's just like the border. Okay, I could solve that border.
Okay, Joe Exotic's just fucking retard.
One of the top 5 food scandals of the 21st century, and we can't underplay it. People need to go to jail. People need to go to jail for this. This is among the most widespread scandals, and not only food pricing, but food availability that I've actually ever heard of.
We have been talking about price gouging by corporate America quite a bit on the show, and that's after the media decided to attack Kamala Harris, alleging that she wants to do price fixing or price controls in response to inflation. She has argued that there has been price gouging, which has led to that inflation at grocery stores, and there's been a lot of denial about corporations doing price gouging at all. And guess what? We've provided evidence before. Now, More Perfect Union has done an investigation that has found alleged price fixing specifically in the meat industry. And just like in the rental housing market, they're using tech to do it. So let me give you the details. The scheme revolves around a software called AgriStats. So let's watch more from the More Perfect Union report to understand what we're talking about here. Let's watch.
AgriStats is the heartbeat of the meat industry. It tracks everything: product prices, the cost to raise an animal, worker wages, and market projections. This info is then turned into reports bought by companies that effectively control all of the chicken, turkey, and pork markets.
So for each item in the grocery store, whether it be chicken thighs or chicken wings, AgriStats, they create a report.
The report outlines the price the company charged, the national average of what its competitors charged, and the top quartile. In fact, it goes deeper than that. It tells meat processors where their price ranks nationally, then the gap between what they're charging and the national average, and the gap between that and the top 25%.
But I think most importantly, you can actually see the economic impact dollars,
or how much money the company is leaving behind.
The way the data was set up was an incentive for them to raise prices. Like, you have to catch up to the market here. Why are you underselling? You're making us all look bad. Once all these suppliers knew what they were each selling and what they were selling for, it's really just a matter of determining what they wanted to be selling it for.
So look, this is super important to understand, everyone. And we've talked about this in a different context before, and I'm so heartbroken to see that this type of predatory activity is now being utilized by other sectors of the economy, namely the meat industry here. So we've talked about this in the context of the rental housing market.
Good. Make meat way too expensive for anybody to buy. I want to see that. Make everybody eat plants because it's cheaper.
And it's essentially a way of sellers, or in the case of the housing market, landlords, to collude with one another and raise their prices and keep their prices high. Anyone who goes against that model is basically like punished for it and ostracized for it. So what I'm talking about with the rental housing market, it's basically something called RealPage. And so let's go to the first graphic here. An ebook produced by RealPage says that the company allows corporate landlords who are technically competitors to actually work together to make us all more successful in our pricing. RealPage bragged that landlords that use its software continually outpace the market in good times and bad. And so I'll give you a specific example when it comes to RealPage. So in Phoenix, according to an Arizona lawsuit, 70% of multifamily apartment units listed in the Phoenix metropolitan area are owned, operated, or managed by companies that have contracted with RealPage. And according to a lawsuit filed by DC, 60% of large multifamily buildings, 50 units or more, set prices using RealPage's software. Do you guys understand what's happening here? They're using technology to do price fixing, okay? Like in a way that will price gouge you. They're doing it when it comes to apartment units and things like that. And now that has unfortunately transferred over to the food industry, primarily the meatpacking industry.
Well, there you go. You're seeing the need for the government to go in and fix pricing schemes so that people can afford shit. It's really retarded, especially when it comes to necessary commodities like housing and food, like things that you need to live. Why in the hell would we let a free market just completely run free and decide pricing? Obviously, people are going to pay very high prices for rent, for housing, and for food because they need it. Like, same things happening in the medical and pharmaceutical industry. Like, if people are going to die, they're going to spend their life savings on a treatment because they're better off, you know, in debt or losing all their money or anything than being dead. So you need some sort of mechanism in place to force prices to reasonable levels.
Yeah, so I think that there's an answer for this. But first, it requires significant nuance. So number one, what is happening here is natural, logical, and actually inevitable. So eventually, whenever you're a business in any industry, you always want to know what your competitors are doing. And among the different things that you want to know is price. And so you're always trying to get what they call business intelligence, which tells you, again, where the entire industry stands to the best of your ability to know it. And a lot of folks, of course, hide a lot of what they're doing because they don't want their competitors to find out. All that is logical, but your prices are public. So eventually there was going to be an app that collected the prices. And if you're running a company and you don't check where your competitors are charging, you're nuts. So if there's an app that tells you what everybody's charging, you're definitely going to use it. And in fact, it would be a little bit negligent if you didn't use it. So since that is pretty much baked in every industry, what it winds up creating is oligopoly by app. Okay.
Yes.
So the problem with oligopolies, of course, is that like monopolies, they limit competition. Instead of one company, it's a small number of companies. And that's basically describes an enormous percentage of the American economy now in almost every industry. Consolidation, because of deregulation, there used to be rules against this kind of consolidation because the power that consolidation brings. And then once you have a few number of companies and you're checking the app for what you're all charging, you're going to set prices and move them based on the maximum of what people can afford. So what's the answer to that? You can't say to the companies, don't check your competitors' prices and don't use this app. I don't think that's productive or helpful, in my opinion. But what you can do is, well, now we're going to need an app for the consumers to check prices on all of these in a kind of an industrial scale for all the different things that we buy. And it's harder for us because we have full-time jobs, right? Yeah. Whereas this is the job of the company to track these prices. But we're going to have to even the playing field here a little bit and kind of force price competition on them.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your...
Let's say that the price of something, let's say bananas, is 25 cents a pound to make up a number, right? And if they check the app or whatever they check, and for 6 months straight, none of the 4 major banana producers, I'm making that up, it's just as an example, have moved from 25 cents. That means they're colluding. Because normally what would happen in a free market is somebody would move to 24 cents, right, and see if they can grab a bigger share of the market and still have enough margins, right? That's how free markets normally work. So if there's some price movement and we have that information as consumers, we could then go to the company charging 24 cents and force a price competition on it. But if they have not moved for some period of time, that means they have de facto collusion.
Yeah.
And that is when the government can say, no, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to accept this. That you guys are, none of you are moving on price ever. And then it's very hard to prove that, but it's provable.
I mean, it's so out in the open. So going back to RealPage for a second. So RealPage is so incredibly strict about enforcing its price fixing scheme that it even deploys pricing advisors to make sure that its landlords are complying with their pricing recommendations. And get a load of this. Let's go to graphic 4. Jeffrey Roper, who created the RealPage algorithm, explains that if you have idiots undervaluing, it costs the whole system.
See, that one,
just saying it.
Yeah, that one gives it away. Because guys, if your competitor is doing something wrong, you don't want to stop them, right? In this case, they're undervalued. And if you're at that company, I mean, you're a shareholder or whatever it might be, I can see you getting frustrated. And that's why it pushes towards collusion, right? Because they will all naturally say, hey, if competitor Bob over there is charging 20% more than us and has the same number of customers, you're doing it wrong. That means you can charge more, right? And then shareholders get mad that you're not maximizing profit. And that's how it works. But in that case, he's mad that the other guys are not colluding on price and that they're actually doing price competition in a free market, wittingly or unwittingly, right? And when you say, hey, I want to prevent that guy from doing that, that's like textbook collusion.
Yeah, look, this example is a little different from what we're talking about, but it does remind me about Senator Joe Manchin's daughter when she was the executive of a pharmaceutical company that made the EpiPen. When the patent was about to run out and Pfizer was about to put out a generic version that would be cheaper, thus allowing for competition in the pharmaceutical market, she actually colluded with the CEO of Pfizer to prevent him from putting out the generic version. She hiked up the price of the EpiPen and promised to do profit sharing with Pfizer as part of the agreement. It is disgusting. That is the kind of stuff that's going on. And so, by the way, no consequences for what she did, which is also incredibly disgusting. But real quick, I do want to go back.
That's pretty fucked.
November 2023, a bombshell was dropped on the entertainment industry. Singer Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit under the New York Adult Survivors Act against Sean P. Diddy Combs, her ex-spouse. The lawsuit included multiple accusations against Diddy of sex trafficking, sexual abuse, and even worse. Reports of these allegations began making headlines internationally and caused a wildfire online. Throughout November, it only got worse. What followed was a slew of other horrendous allegations and lawsuits, all against P. Diddy. And in the midst of all of these lawsuits, Diddy had become public enemy #1. To this day, Diddy is still being publicly shamed and has essentially become a meme, giving birth to the hilarious nickname, the Diddler, and birthing the newest slang for when you do something sus in hip-hop, no Diddy. While for some, Diddy's become hip-hop's #1 villain. But over the years, he's made so many enemies, and ultimately, many people were simply delighted to hear of the news of his downfall. One of these people is known to be a hip-hop villain for perhaps less dark reasons. That person is 50 Cent, one of hip-hop's biggest trolls. He took Diddy's downfall as prime time to dish out all of his impending hate against his longtime music industry nemesis. Even months before the allegations came to light, 50 would often take to Instagram to throw jabs at the Diddler, such as posting the infamous Lil Baby picture from Michael Rubin's annual White Party, where 50 Cent vowed to never attend a party where Diddy is attending. But after November 2023, following the raids at several of Diddy's homes, 50 showed no mercy online and turned his aim much more specifically towards Diddy. Like in this post showing a scene from American Gangster with a caption saying, when them boys show up at Puffy crib again, he gonna be like, let me tell you about all them people on them tape. LOL. Now, before I get any further into the story of Diddy versus 50, I just want to leave a quick disclaimer, okay? This story will have some pretty dark themes as part of it, mainly relating to some of the twisted things.
Question: if we can agree that carnivores like tigers should be culled to reduce rights violations, what would the problem be with torturing them or putting them in captivity like Joe Exotic did? How do you argue against that fucking faggot bitch nig?
So, torturing them would be a rights violation, and torturing them would not prevent a greater amount of rights violations, so that would be wrong. Secondly, Joe Exotic didn't get wild tigers. He just bought tigers that were bred in a zoo breeding system. So he's making more tigers. Thanks for the donation, though. My name is Bitchard.
Diddy's been up to. But this video has been censored in order to comply with all of YouTube's community guidelines. So no swearing's going to appear in this video, no violence. There's not really anything violent in this video, but I'm just letting you know that there are going to be some pretty heavy themes going on throughout this video. But the video has been censored, and if you want to see an uncut version of this video with all the swearing and other things that I just didn't want to put in this version of the video, and I do this for all of my videos, head on over to patreon.com/trapholeross and you can go and watch it there just for $2. Thanks. 50 would even share clips of Diddy's neighbors making heinous claims of multiple buses filled with minors regularly entering his residence, or even 50 essentially calling Diddy the new R. Kelly whilst teasing a full high-budget documentary that he was producing all about Diddy's allegations similar to Surviving R. Kelly. 50's been trolling Diddy to such an extent that it's made its own headlines on prominent news outlets like CNN. But this isn't just 50 trying to hijack a popular news story of the times. The truth is, Diddy and 50 have a deep and dark history spanning decades, going all the way back to a time when they were friends coming up in New York's cutthroat hip-hop scene, eventually teaming up against shared ops, in the end becoming frenemies, and finally full-blown enemies, with 50 Cent in 2024 ultimately becoming P. Diddy's worst nightmare. So today, let's look into the history of this beef that goes back decades and uncover why 50 Cent hates Diddy so much that he waited 20 years for this downfall.
Yo, MTV Raps, and we up in the house that these bad boys built, you know what I'm saying? No doubt. Puffy and crew. So Puffy.
This is my crew, then me.
This is family.
Artists always first, baby.
Puffy, take it away.
Check it out. This is my man, the Notorious B.I.G.
What's the deal? What's going on?
The show you're about to see is a conversation with producer, performer, and all-around record mogul Puffy Combs. It was recorded last March, just after the murder of Puffy's friend and protege Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G.
See, I'm crazy. I be thinking, yep. I was crazy enough to believe what the I was saying was gonna happen. And that's why I was persistent enough and consistent enough to exist now.
You sit right here, Queen. Come back outside. On the street, and I am on wax. So if you see me in New York, you should be making my snap.
And the award for best rap video goes to, come on, Playboy, 50 Cent.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? He's not an artist.
He's out there.
Yeah, but he's not an artist. See, an artist would be someone who actually wrote something maybe.
He's like, I have 50 and Puff at the same table?
Mm-hmm.
He's the most awkward shit ever that you was instigating.
Puff was like, why we like go shopping this? I mean, like, I paid for it. I was like, this just say.
Was someone a deal that you guys tried to make happen? What went wrong with that deal?
You know why it didn't go through. Diddy didn't let it go through.
Y'all heard about the world famous party. Many have asked, but few are chosen.
Everybody's survived.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking for you. I told you, get your hand out of my pocket, man. Get your hand out of my pocket. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing on the channel. Get your hand out of my pocket, man. Okay, I'll tell you right now. When I want to work with Diddy, I'm going to physically put my hands on somebody for the ratings. Because he's not going to outdo me.
Ciroc Vodka is entering into a groundbreaking strategic alliance with Sean Combs.
Would you rather drink potatoes or grapes? I'm a king. Kings drink grapes, peasants drink potatoes. I make the clothes that you would get dressed in, the fragrance you would put on, listen to the music that I produced, buy the vodka that was in the club.
Some people might think that's a form of making money.
Well, it could be.
Sometimes I like Puff.
Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't.
No, 50 Cent sent a case of effing up here for Diddy. Now, be clear, Diddy did send 50 a whole lifetime supply of Ciroc for his birthday as well, so you guys are hopefully friendly back and forth.
Yeah. He's drinking his Puffy juice, man. Got it.
Hopefully he appreciates me opening up the doors for him continuously.
That's how I feel about your bullshit.
I told you can't trust these. Now, Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
He said you did the same thing when you asked him to take him shopping. Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes.
50 Cent has thrown a few insults your way recently. Have you talked to him about this, and why do you think he's throwing insults at you?
I mean, or some insecurities.
That's why I don't be going to the Puffy party. Later you gonna find out a little shit I be saying. You understand what I'm saying? Man, listen, I'm trying to tell you the truth. But the truth, sometimes it hurts.
Before we go any further, guys, I just want to ask a quick favor of you, okay? As you know, I make very long, very detailed videos, and I'll be honest with you, recently we've been having a bit of a problem with reviewing the videos. It takes hours to review the videos and look for mistakes. There's been times when I've sat there and watched a video for 4 or 5 hours and found one tiny mistake, and my entire day's been wasted, okay? It's very difficult. I think when I made the 6-hour Youngboy video, I think that was the record. I think I watched that video 27. To understand the origins of this beef, it's important to first look at the pair's come up in the industry and where exactly they initially began clashing heads. Sean Combs was born in 1969, and he was raised in the grimy streets of Harlem, New York in the 1970s, as he would explain to DJ Vlad in a throwback interview.
I'm a Harlem boy, no disrespect to anybody. That's where my mom is from. That's where my father's from. That's where my father died at. That's where I was born. That's what I represent. That's my swag. That's my tenacity. I just love being from.
So Diddy's like over 50. He's old.
Yeah, that's where my soul comes from. That hustler mentality has a lot to do with why I am.
After the loss of his father Melvin at the age of 2, Sean and his family moved into the suburbs of Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is a city in Westchester County, New York, in the United States. It's an inner suburb of New York City, immediately to the north of the borough of the Bronx. And Sean credited Mount Vernon for broadening his horizons and introducing him to new cultures and opportunities. In comparison to Harlem, it was a completely different world. Sean attended an all-boys private Montessori school, Mount St. Michael Academy, and he spent the rest of his adolescence in Mount Vernon and took a liking to the performance arts. It was reported that in his teenage years, Sean actually danced in several music videos for big artists like Diana Ross, which would explain his numerous music video antics later on in his career. After high school, he went to Howard University in DC to pursue a business degree, and it was during college that Diddy began gaining a reputation for throwing huge parties.
Do you remember debating badness vegan? No.
These parties were becoming a key part of Sean's personality, and it was really what made him so popular. Sean and DJ Derek Angeletti became very close after this and began throwing multiple parties every single month. Celebrities even began attending the events, and Sean took advantage of his chance to spread his name, engraving his name and nickname Puff on his business cards. According to the DJ, one party at the Masonic Temple had over 1,500 people in attendance. In 1989, after freshman year in college, he met up with his childhood friend Dwight Myers, aka Heavy D. He was like his mentor through childhood, and he was a known rapper in the scene. And that same year, 1989, Heavy would sign to the record label Uptown Records in New York City. Over summer 1989, Sean went back to New York City and linked up with Heavy D, who later introed Sean to the label owner Andre Harrell, a flamboyant black record executive who famously coined the term ghetto fabulous. The two would allegedly become very close, and that same summer, Diddy was hired as an intern for the label, all still while just being a freshman in college. He must have been doing an impeccable job, and he was swiftly promoted to an A&R executive. At just age 20, Sean was already achieving massive success in the music industry. No one really knew how. By autumn 1992, after the signing of his latest label talent, the notorious B.I.G., the debut album Ready to Die was due for release, but Uptown's parent company was apparently refusing to release it, saying that the lyrics were far too vulgar. Both Diddy and Biggie were upset and voiced their frustrations, leading Diddy to be fired from Uptown in late 1992. This led Diddy to move into the next year, forming his own record label, the now infamous Bad Boy Entertainment. Diddy had begun building a very impressive lineup at Bad Boy, and in September 1994, the label finally released Biggie's Ready to Die. Ready to Die resonated with hip-hop fans instantly, and is considered to be one of the great classic rap albums in history, even scoring perfect reviews by some of music's most respected media outlets. Bad Boy continued their massive success throughout the 90s, becoming one of the biggest labels in rap, curating a vast catalogue of hits and respected albums, with massive artists like Craig Mack, Biggie Smalls, Lil Kim, The Lox, and many more. And this momentum carried over into the new millennium, cementing Diddy as one of the biggest media moguls the rap game ever saw. And as a celebrity and budding New York socialite, Diddy's profile would continue to grow as he broke into the A-list echelon. Diddy got into a high-profile relationship with Jennifer Lopez, flaunting his new bae and his success on the red carpet at the 2000 Grammy Awards. By the start of the new millennium, Diddy had truly made it, but interestingly, as Diddy had reached the top, he was living the high life as perhaps hip-hop's first true mogul. But unfortunately, in the shadowy gutter of New York's rap scene, a young 50 Cent was grinding and facing some of the hardest situations a man could possibly face. While Diddy had found fame and a fortune on the business side of the rap game in the late 90s, we also saw the emergence of another titan in the rap world. From Southside Jamaica, Queens, New York, a man named Curtis Jackson, locally known in the streets as Boo Boo before he found his 50 Cent moniker. 50 Cent was known as a menace in the streets of Queens, who was very active from a young age and was known as the boss of his 134 Guy Brewer block. But 50 Cent had bigger dreams than just running his block, and eventually was looking to turn his tales of running the streets into a buzzing rap career. In 1996, 50 was introduced to the legendary Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, who helped 50 establish his sound and trained him to write raps and helped improve his ability to write hooks and form proper songs. In 1999, 50 signed a deal and would join Columbia Records ahead of the release of his debut album, Power of the Dollar. But as 1999 was wrapping up, 50 felt that there was a lack of anticipation for his upcoming debut release. So on August the 10th, 50 chose to shake up the rap game and put many of the biggest artists on notice. He released the infamous track How to Rob, which was basically a diss track on the whole music industry, including firing shots at R&B singers Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat, as well as DMX and many more. But the very first diss at the start of the song was aimed at none other than P. Diddy himself. 50 was aware that dissing the biggest label owner at the time would certainly attract eyes to his project, marking this as the first entry into this saga of beef. In the song, 50 threatens to kidnap Diddy's then partner Kim Porter and orders Diddy that he'll need to pay her ransom and dance his way to the nearest ATM, hilariously alluding to Diddy's fruity dances often seen in Bad Boy videos. The strategy of airing out the entire rap game and aiming for the biggest names was a genius marketing move, and the song really put 50 on the map and got his name buzzing. Just like Diddy, 50 clearly had a business-oriented mind and was sharp enough to manipulate tactics to generate buzz for his projects and increase his sales. His method worked, and the very next month in September, 50 featured in the Next People on the Verge section in Vibe magazine. All was set for the big release of 50's debut album, but the next year, disaster struck for 50's career, as he would seemingly use the same strategy of airing people out publicly to get attention, but this time it was figures in the streets rather than the recording industry that he was exposing. His track Ghetto Quran was one of the first examples of a gangster rapper exposing other gangsters and their activities directly by name, specifically local drug lord Kenneth Supreme McGriff, with 50 rapping openly on the track that he would break down the story of the gangster running the South Side, openly saying that Supreme was the businessman and his enforcer Prince was killing people on behalf of him. The song delved in excruciating detail the sorts of cars that Supreme drove and called out members by name for snitching on people. 50
Jesus. Is that why he got shot?
Knew what he was doing. Even rapping, don't be surprised at how freely he was naming serious big-time drug dealers and gangsters from his area. This song was wild, and in some people's eyes, one of the earliest examples of snitching on a record. But 50 didn't.
Omni Vegan Donatillers, it plays like this that will always make football so exhilarating to watch. Too bad it destroys your brain and the rest of your body.
Is the running back. Play action. And Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Beckham, a one-handed catch. How in the world?
Oh my goodness.
And Brand.
I mean, none of this is exciting to me. It's a dude catching a ball. Who cares? Football is just fucking stupid, dude. It sucks. Thanks for the donation, though, Omni Vegan.
Didn't agree with this, telling Vibe magazine that everything he mentioned in the song had also been written about in books in the library and newspaper reports that had been available publicly. Now, I agree with the sentiment, and Ghetto Quran is certainly not snitching. However, 50 was actually from and living in the area that these gangsters he named ran in. This song was seen as the ultimate disrespect, specifically towards Supreme McGriff, who was mentioned in the opening lines of the song. So as a result, the streets decided that 50 Cent was a liability and would need to be taken out. On May the 24th, 2000, whilst 50 was in a car in front of his grandmother's house, a stranger approached him from behind and started shooting at close range. 50 was hit 9 times, but like a true soldier, 50 drove himself to Jamaica.
Well, I guess, yeah, that's why I got shot. That's pretty crazy.
a hospital and survived the attack, narrowly escaping death. One bullet had knocked out a tooth, another had hit his hip, and sadly he was told that he would forever slur and limp, with the implication that this would obviously affect 50's ability to rap, but he didn't let it stop him. His original album Power of the Dollar was set for release in July 2000, but after the shooting, 50 was dropped from the label. Luckily, 50 managed to make a full recovery from the incident, and by 2001 he was back in the studio writing music once again. And it appears that by this point, Diddy had actually let the previous diss aimed at him on How to Rob slide, as 50 claims that Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's girlfriend at the time, had told Diddy to use 50 Cent as a ghostwriter. And allegedly, Diddy actually took up this advice, because on the 10th of July 2001, Bad Boy artist G-Dep released his song Let's Get It, a posse cut featuring Black Rob and P. Diddy himself, or Puffy as he was known at the time. According to 50 Cent, he actually wrote the chorus and Diddy's verse for this track, and when assessing the hook, it definitely seems to be something that could have been produced by 50's pen.
First time I came back was because Jennifer Lopez told Puffy he should have me come back to write music with him. I came back, Puffy had a song, it used to go, make this money, take this money. Ain't no way you can take this from me. They get money, let's get it. That don't feel like 50?
Now, the following year in 2002, 50 had officially become the hottest unsigned artist in the game, and on April 26, 2002, 50 released his mixtape Guess Who's Back, taunting his ops who left him for dead. And interestingly, despite the ghostwriting lifeline Diddy had thrown to him, on track 8 entitled Get Out the Club, 50 once again disses P. Diddy, calling Diddy a trick. A pointed bar, but also perhaps a slightly subtle hint that 50 might have known some of the nasty things Diddy had to do behind the scenes to get his career going. But 50 had ultimately come up off the back of drama and making a mockery of powerful people. And in natural 50 fashion, he didn't just stop there. On August 1, 2002, 50 Cent released the G-Unit assisted mixtape No Mercy No Fear. And on track 16, Part 2 and Bump Heads, 50 speaks on the outro to the instrumental of a Bad Boy song, I Need a Girl Part 2, where 50 says, hey Puffy, stop making those I Miss J-Lo records. For some reason, Diddy had obviously got under 50's skin, but at the time, Diddy chose not to respond or pay any of these disses any attention. Perhaps at the time, Diddy appreciated 50's Joker personality and understood that his method of virality was trying to prod.
Omni Vegan donated $2 last one.
Nick Boyle run the seam route down the middle of the field.
Here's a second down and 3. Jackson takes it himself. Look at him dart back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage. And he's got a touchdown.
I just don't know why anybody cares. The dude running with a ball. Whatever. Dude, sports are boring. Especially fucking football. Thanks for the donation though, Omni Vegan.
One of the biggest names in the game, and honestly, it was working. As mentioned, 50 Cent was on fire during this time, and every label was desperately trying to sign him. And surprisingly, even after multiple public disses, Diddy himself also joined in on the bidding war. According to G-Unit member Tony Yayo, Diddy arranged a meeting with 50 to discuss a potential signing. Ultimately, chose not to proceed due to 50's ongoing war in New York with Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the kingpin and founder of the notorious Supreme Team, who were one of the biggest crime syndicates in New York throughout the 80s to the 2000s. I guess even Diddy was scared of those guys.
I remember the first time, and a lot of people don't know the story, that 50 went to Diddy. For Bad Boy, a lot of people don't know that. We had the meeting, and it was so crazy that Diddy didn't sign him. I know that was one of the biggest mistakes of Bad Boy. You know, the Preem situation, and a lot of people were scared of Preem. 50 wasn't. So it was just like, I remember Diddy said this. He don't even remember. He said the 3 things people hate about rappers. He's like, yo, we can't sign you, Playboy. It's too much. He was like, it's too much drama, like, with the Biggie stuff and all that. And I was just looking like, damn, this, you know what I'm saying?
But what do you mean drama with the Biggie stuff?
Because we came to Diddy. 50 came after Biggie got that was one of the meetings that we had.
Okay.
What
year was this?
I don't know what year it was. We had meeting with Diddy. It was me and 50 there, and 50 he took the meeting. Out of respect, he had deals all over the table. I wasn't saying he was gonna take the deal. He might have not, but Diddy didn't want to take the deal because all the drama. But 50 was the hottest on the planet.
Okay, was How to Rob out at this point?
Nah, this is after How to Rob. This is after he got shot and he had all the mixtape on Smash.
With some rumors circulating that Diddy and other New York City-based record labels actually blackballed 50 Cent from the industry due to the perceived danger of working with him. And another rumor had circulated that during a studio session, 50 Cent actually pulled out a gun and scared Diddy. So next, as you may know, 50 Cent ultimately chose to sign with Eminem's Shady Records in conjunction with Dr. Dre's Aftermath. In the next year, under that label, he would release his classic album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', which went on to become one of the most commercially successful hip-hop albums of all time, selling over 800,000 units in its first week, debuting at number 1 and going down as a modern-day classic rap album at the time. And 50 went on to become a legendary figure in the rap game. Within just a couple of short years, 50 had risen to the top of the rap game, arguably quicker than Diddy did. And while Diddy was chasing mogul status, and at the time, 50 was still focused on being an artist, ultimately it would be hard to imagine two such enormous characters and personalities coexisting in the cutthroat world of the NYC rap scene peacefully. Slowly but surely, behind the scenes, 50 and Diddy's animosity would be growing, and while at times they would be friends, collaborators, or perhaps frenemies, what would ultimately unfold would see them eventually becoming bitter rivals, setting the stage for 50 to begin to contend with Diddy in the mogul rankings and patiently waiting over 2 decades to eventually claim Diddy's scalp. Over the next few years, Diddy and 50's beef went quiet, likely due to all the success on both sides. But behind the scenes, tension was brewing. By 2003, both men were megastars in the rap game in their own rights. One interesting moment occurred when the two crossed paths on the 28th of August 2003, as Diddy ended up presenting the award for Best Rap Video at the MTV VMAs award show, with the winner being none other than 50 Cent for In the Club.
And the award for Best Rap Video goes to, come on Playboy, 50 Cent.
And 50 Cent and Eminem would touch the stage, dapping up Diddy, seemingly on good vibes. However, that same year, something would happen that changed everything, because apparently one chance encounter between Diddy and 50 Cent had 50 feeling some type of way. Apparently in 2003, New York music executive Chris Lighty, who was close to both 50 and Diddy, held a star-studded wedding, where Lighty tied the knot with his wife Veronica. Both 50 and Diddy were in attendance, and 15 years later, whilst on an interview with The Breakfast Club, 50 revealed that Diddy had said something to him that made him uncomfortable.
He said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
50 would also elaborate on this strange offer on his 2020 Drink Champs interview, when it was revealed that 50 and Diddy had been placed together on the same table at the wedding, and it was incredibly awkward.
He's like, I had 50, I think it's Steve Stout, and Puff at the same table. He said, it was the most awkward whatever, that you was instigating some.
And it was at this point that Diddy made the strange comment offering to take 50 Cent shopping and pay for everything.
Then Puff was like, yeah, like first he was amping him to get stopped. Then he was like, so when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out. We gotta kick it. This is Puff. Okay. He's telling me we gotta kick it. And he's like, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like I pay for it. I was like, this just sounds. I got the away from him. I was like, this is like fucking.
Contract as a lead.
50 Cent made the worst fucking hip-hop music. He was the most famous shitty artist in hip-hop, like maybe he raps okay? Not really, but then the beats and the music generally is just mediocre, plastic, bland, insert synonyms for cringe and boring.
I remember when I was a kid and he was super big. I thought it was pretty cringe, especially the merchandise. The 50 Cent merchandise was so fucking cringy, dude. There were a lot of kids at my school who were wearing 50 Cent, like, G-Unit shit, and I'm like, why are you even wearing that? I mean, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. You're not a gang member. You're not in his gang or crew, but you're wearing his merchandise for what fucking reason? To give a rich millionaire more money? Like, it's just gay. Thanks for the donation, though, retard.
Lead spokesman, so.
Yeah, he sold his stake in the company about a month ago. A month and a half ago. They was having all those vodka wars, and he wasn't even a majority owner.
Well, you still make a lot of money as a minority owner.
But Puff is a majority owner of Ciroc. Like, I wouldn't have been going, but he was like, they was slandering each other hard body over vodka. Well, 50 was slandering him. Well, 50 seen over $60 million from his buyout, allegedly. I'll just say that. Okay. So, I mean, minority owner could be 40%. That's still as large stake of a company that was already created.
This was seemingly confirmed in an Instagram post where 50 seemed to allude to a $60 million check. However, F&, parent company Suntory would deny rumors of the partnership ending, and 50 would make a post seemingly suggesting that he was still working with the brand, but he had just gotten a bag out of the deal. Clearly, 50 was still in the drinks game, as soon after the news broke. In August 2017, 50 would appear on the Alcoholic Interruption Fest, the Drink Champs, and during the interview, he still seemed to be banging F&, hard, and proceeded to once again call out Diddy's vodka brand Ciroc for not actually being vodka, unlike his new F&, vodka.
It's not even vodka. Oh, it's grapes. Let's go. It says made.
We ready.
We
ready. We ready. We know where you're going.
You know what I'm saying?
We ready.
Which one you more sugar in? Because this is made from wheat. It's from Holland, a lot less sugar, and it's a lot smoother than the Ciroc brand. And it's better than you. Right. Told you I was smarter.
Right. He would retell the story of Diddy offering to take him shopping.
He asked me, could he take me shopping? And it put me up, because I'm looking like, I want to take you shopping. I want to take you shopping. Why? Because when you walk around looking so motherfucking good, I would feel like, God damn it, that motherfucker with me.
One of the biggest and most disrespectful run-ins in this beef would be when 50 appeared on The Breakfast Club at the start of 2018, where Charlemagne would ask him why he always calls Diddy gay, reading a recent post that 50 made going,
how much money to do motovlog? I don't even know what I would vlog right now. Because, I'm dieting, I'm not really going out much, so I don't know.
Diddy, where 50 posted from the hospital saying that he was recovering from pettiness and that his followers will soon be gay and happy, dissing Diddy to say that you're now under the leadership of Puff Daddy and that you need to report to the nearest rainbow, with 50 denying that he actually called Diddy gay in the post.
When you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
let me read it, Fifth. Oh my God. Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under the leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner thieves, in Peterson.
Oh, that's what
50 would go on to say that he was only making fun of Diddy's recent interview on the Drink Champs, where Diddy made sus comments about Fabulous not coming to his parties.
The Drink Champs.
Yes.
And he go, when you do it, he says
discrimination lawsuit against the company. In May 2020, when Southwest Tea from BMF was released, 50 made a post saying that Puffy owes him money and that 50's ready to collect on his behalf. Now, you all know that 50 Cent's very good at collecting debts. Go watch that video about that if you want to know. But anyway, this seemingly worked, as T would later post that he'd been contacted by Diddy on a positive vibe and that they had handled business, with 50 seemingly taking responsibility for the money landing. Ultimately, things will be getting worse and worse for Diddy, and naturally, Fiddy would be rubbing his hands together like Birdman, ready to gloat and twist the knife. Interestingly, the beef would be reignited in 2021 when it emerged that Diddy was actually dating the mother of one of 50's children, Daphne Joy. On April 2021, 50 reacted to his baby mother Daphne Joy dating Diddy, saying that they fight over business, not girls, and that if he likes her, he doesn't give an F. Funnily enough, the ever-petty 50 Cent would actually end up having his own business connection to Diddy's children. In the summer of 2019, 50 would post that he turned up in Miami for his birthday with Diddy's son Justin, posting a video of them at the party and a caption saying, man, Puffy got some cool ass kids. Yeah, Justin alright man, I don't F with dude's kids. That was Yayo slapping Jimmy's son. A reference to the incident where 50 caught rival executive and drug kingpin Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son with Tony Yayo and Lodi Mack, where Henchman's son was actually slapped, an incident that resulted in another attempt on 50's life and the murder of Lodi Mack, which saw Jimmy Henchman convicted and hit with 2 life sentences. It would seem that perhaps after Justin partied with 50, his father Diddy told him not to associate with the ops, with 50 making another post the following month saying if Puffy doesn't let his sons Prince and Justin come out to party with him again, then 50 50 would be taking Ciroc off the party menu. But 50 would do even more to try and connect with Diddy's children as years went by. 2 years later, he would end up giving Diddy's adopted son Quincy a role in his 2021 TV series Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, something that he would discuss with reference to Diddy on Twitter, saying that he saw his acting tapes and said he's so good that he's going to stop fighting with Puffy. But 50 would follow up with more jokes about Diddy's relationship with his baby's mother in September 2021, posting a picture of his son with Daphne Sire and a caption reading, "Oh, that's your mommy over there with Puffy? LOL. Remember what I told you the other day? These be crazy." Shake my head. This seemingly didn't discourage Daphne from sipping that Puffy juice too, and she would clap back in a comment on the post saying that she never bothers 50 and wants to be left alone. Then, in November 2022, she'd publicly wish Diddy a happy birthday, posting a pic of them together and calling him her favorite person. Now, 50 Cent seemed genuinely unbothered about the situation, and in an interview a few years later, he would claim that he hadn't kissed Daphne on the mouth for 10 years, so somebody got to do it.
You know, City Girls Up Like a Mom.
Did you do that just fuck with Diddy?
No, that was ahead of the thing with Daphne or whatever like that. But y'all, man, I ain't kissed in the mouth in 10 years, man. Somebody got to kiss him.
However, it would seem that 50 had the last laugh in that situation, but it wouldn't be for a few years until Diddy's downfall truly begun. And while this isn't a video about Diddy's downfall, ultimately it would be one thing after another for the marred mogul. And every time something bad landed for Diddy, Fiddy was waiting in the wings ready to poke fun at it. On October 2023, after the arrest of one of Tupac's alleged killers, Keefe D, reports would circulate that Diddy might have been the person who arranged the murder with an alleged $1 million bounty. Keefe D had killed Tupac. But the story was far from over, and Cassie wasn't the only woman in his orbit who would be dragged into legal trouble. As in April 2024, when even more legal paperwork circulated regarding Diddy's allegations, in a $30 million lawsuit filed by former Diddy employee Lil Rod, the mother of 50 Cent's son Sire, Daphne Joy, was named in the indictment as being a sex worker employed by P. Diddy. More specifically, that she was paid a monthly stipend along with 2 other women to participate in the freak-offs. As articles circulated detailing the explosive allegations, 50 Cent would add fuel to the fire with a characteristically hilarious reaction, posting an image of himself smoking a cigar in the rain unbothered with a caption that read, "I didn't know you was a sex worker, you little sex worker, LOL. Yo, this stuff is like a movie." Now, Daphne herself would deny the allegation in a statement, claiming that the S-worker accusation was completely false and that she was planning to sue Lil Rod now. But 50 wasn't done here, and his next move would be a big one. According to TMZ, 50 Cent actually claimed to have made the decision to seek full custody of his son after Daphne was publicly labeled as a S-worker in Lil Rod's lawsuit. Allegedly, following this legal move, Daphne would fly off the handle and take to social media, clapping back at 50 with explosive allegations in an Instagram post where she accused him of having done some of the things that Diddy was accused of, as well as not spending time with his son. It would be the R-word allegation that escalated things to a serious new level, and 50 Cent wasn't about to let such a serious Diddy-level accusation slide. Firstly, 50 would respond in a statement circulated in the Hollywood Reporter denying the allegations against him and pointing out that he believed that she had falsely accused him of R in response to his move to seek custody of his son. According to later reporting by TMZ, following the statement, 50's lawyers contacted Daphne demanding a retraction of the allegations, which was met with a refusal and a request for millions of dollars and demands that 50 drop the custody case just in exchange for her taking down those posts, which 50 and his lawyers took to be an extortion attempt. Then, just over a month later, on May the 6th, 2024, 50 Cent would file a full defamation lawsuit against Daphne Joy for the statement she made online, which 50 Cent denied categorically. In response to this, Daphne would actually delete her statements against 50 from social media, with it later being reported she'd fully dropped the accusation of R-word against 50. However, as 50 pointed out, the damage was already done, and according to reports, 50's lawsuit claimed that Daphne's defamatory post had garnered over 22,000 likes and had already caused significant damage to his business reputation. According to one article, 50 Cent is actually seeking over $1 million in damages against Daphne for her alleged defamatory statements. Now, right now, that's still an outstanding case, but it could well be that Daphne Joy has dug a hole for herself so deep there's no way of getting out, even with Diddy support. But setting aside the beef with Daphne, 50 Cent's decades-long beef with Diddy was finally
These fucking women, man. I don't know why they ever think it's a good idea. Sengoku donated $2. Is this a result of sun damage / not wearing sunscreen? You didn't give me a link. If you give me a link, I can take a look. Thanks for the donation, Sengoku.
Coming to a conclusion, which was nothing but W's for 50 Cent. In May 2024, it was reported that Netflix had won a bidding war for 50 Cent's docuseries about Diddy Do It? Interestingly, the last piece of the puzzle was a final chapter in the vodka wars that truly brought the Ciroc era to an end. In June 2023, before the full allegations dropped, Diddy would accuse Ciroc owner Diageo of racism, claiming the company failed to make promised investments in his brands. Essentially saying Diageo claimed that the distribution for Diddy's drink brands were limited to urban areas. But then in January 2024, after the allegations, Diddy dropped his racism lawsuit against Ciroc parent company Diageo, with it being reported that Diddy withdrew all claims of racism and that Diageo and Diddy's business partnership was completely over, likely with Diddy's legal problems putting him in an awful position to negotiate or accuse others of wrongdoing. After Diddy's downfall, rumors would circulate that Ciroc was actually looking to replace Diddy with 50 Cent as their new brand ambassador, and rumors circulated that $100 million
Yes, I own a car.
deal was on the table for 50 Cent to potentially step into Diddy's shoes as the main spokesman for Ciroc. However, this would seemingly turn out to be just a rumor, with 50 Cent issuing a denial explaining why he would never work with Ciroc, saying, "I own my brands. I would be an ambassador for Ciroc. I haven't seen anybody drinking that stuff lately. It's over."
Let me see. A lot of that probably is sun damage. And not wearing sunscreen. And it looks like she does, looks like she does spend time outside the sun. But yeah, that looks like most of her wrinkles and the spots on her skin are from sun damage. Thanks for the donation, Son Goku.
LOL. 50 made an interesting post on the topic in June 2024, discussing how racism played a role in the quality of the deals that Diddy got with Diageo for Ciroc and Suntory with Effin. But regardless of how Diddy was treated, the Ciroc era was truly over, and Diddy ultimately wound up with no ownership in the brand that he had made famous.
It's just
Surely
a
50
Kia
was
Forte.
ecstatic at how things played out, and from here, he continued to poke at Diddy any opportunity that he got. On the 11th of June, 50 turned up to an apparent roast of Diddy, where the proceeds of the event were set to go to his victims, with 50 making a post saying that he thought Diddy might come, and that he was ready with the shooters, by which he means videographers, of course. The most recent shade dropped by 50 came on July 13th, as 50 Cent had recently announced his new G-Unit production studios in Shreveport, and he would joke that Diddy would be joining them them in Shreveport before laughing and saying that if Diddy comes to the party, people will be waking up with sore butts.
You're not gonna believe this, but I just got a call and Puffy's confirmed for Shreveport. It's what? Nah. Here go. Everybody's scared to drink. Coffee cups. Wake up, your butt's sore.
In the end, 50 Cent had the last laugh, and well, there were a lot of laughs. And when Diddy Do It finally drops on Netflix, I have no doubt that 50 will be laughing all the way to the bank. When it comes to the chess game of the rap industry, there's few people you could point to as being as cold and calculated as 50 Cent. This wound up being a wild story and just proved once and for all that 50 Cent is pretty much unkillable, both physically and spiritually. It's looking like Diddy's downfall is potentially only just the beginning. Perhaps he will truly...
Yeah, Diddy probably did it. Probably. I was thinking of playing Wukong tonight, but since I have to get up early, and I also have to prepare for the debate, I think I'm just going to end the stream now, just because I'm going to need sleep and some time to prepare for the debate, but I'm going to be debating that carnivore idiot.
Lamont Trump in Arizona this weekend. How's this for some sun damage? Honestly, I feel for him, bro. It's not habitable here.
Yeah. This looks like makeup that's been rubbing off. I don't know if he has like vitiligo. That might actually be why he wears the orange makeup, due to the vitiligo. He is very old. Thanks for the donation, Caleb. Yeah, but the debate is going to be tomorrow with that carnivore muscle guy. We're just going to be debating nutrition. He said he has about an hour for the debate, so it should be wrapped up pretty quickly, but just going to do some basic preparation, and then we'll debate in the morning. I'll probably have it as a stream. So I'll be... I don't know if I'm going to... I don't think I'm going to keep streaming after the debate. I'm probably just going to do the debate stream and then stream later. But it's going to be 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or 1 p.m. UK time. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. And sweet dreams.